Amigos, en vivo, Raúl Aguirre, aquí en el desierto norteamericano, from the North American desert. We're out of Phoenix, Arizona, which also, of course, includes Tucson and the whole desert. And we're glad to be here today en los estudios de Prensa Hispana to bring you an opportunity to continue to help us do the work for the Victoria Foundation. La Fundación Victoria fue fundada por nuestro amigo Pete, el Big Dog. Y le mandamos saludos hasta el cielo porque hizo tantas cosas por nosotros, parte de Chicanos por la Causa. And today we're going to have a few guests. We're going to be asking you to donate for the cause, the great cause of scholarships. Now, more important than ever, we need to continue the metrics of getting our students to college, to all kinds of different colleges. So I don't care if you're a U of A graduate or NAU, what's the other one? ASU. Just kidding. All definitions when, wait a minute, you're going to get it right now. And we love all the graduates because I think education is a cornerstone of our leadership, specifically as we take over the national leadership. I think we need more young people to become national leaders for our country, for our towns. We want to say hello to all the leadership across the state today and across wherever you are, because we are live right now on different platforms. Check us out at prensahispana.com. Estamos en los estudios de ahí para que empiecen a hacer los donativos. So I'm going to ask you, we're going to be here for about 2-3 hours, actually 4 hours, and we're going to be asking you to pony up, to commit, ayudarnos a recaudar estos fondos tan necesarios para la Fundación Victoria, para dar becas a todos los estudiantes a través del Estado. Por lo pronto, we're going to roll a little bit more information so you know more about the Victoria Foundation, and we're going to have Dr. Olivas, our champion and president of Victoria Foundation. So check out this video and start. Go to our website and start donating 10, 20, 30, de poquito a poquito. We're going to reach our goal. Our goal is $75,000. So let's get going. Good morning. Bienvenidos todos.
Good day to you. Muy buenos días. My name is Luis Olivas. I serve as the president of the Pete C. Garcia Victoria Foundation. Our foundation is focused on assisting the academically talented Hispanic students who graduate from high school and want to go on to higher education institutions. And so we're most fortunate that Pete Garcia, who passed away approximately 5 years ago, founded this foundation named after his mom, Victoria. We have a board who overwhelms the community in terms of leadership and support, and we have an ongoing process. We meet quarterly as a board, and the information that provides more details about who we are as a foundation can be found on our website. We welcome you to take a look at this website. We're looking to establish an ongoing weekly pod series, and so this is a foundational first ever for this foundation. We want to make sure our community understands the actions that we take and how that benefits our community, and specifically our students. We have a rich history since the foundation started in 2010, thanks to Pete Garcia. We've issued over $1.7 million in scholarships to about 1,700 students, in-state students in Arizona, who are either have completed the degree, are gainfully employed in our state or other states, and or the students are currently in a degree program somewhere. These students, as they complete the degrees, obviously become difference makers in our community, employed, contributing to the community in terms of what they do beyond work, as they volunteer to lead organizations, as they volunteer to assist nonprofits. And so we have a proud tradition that was started thanks to Pete Garcia. That tradition continues. We are supported by Chicanos por la Causa in terms of office space and their ongoing support that they do. We're proud to have various sponsors who continue to support us. And there are two major programs that we sponsor each and every year. Number one, in April, we have what we call the Advocates for Education program, where we identify difference makers that are advocating for youth, for educational funding, via school districts, via administrative jobs, via the organizations that they employ or work through or work with. That's why we like to call them difference makers. They're making a difference for our community in terms of making sure our students have access, making sure that they have the correct curriculums designed, and making sure that they have opportunities to further their educational outcomes. So we call that the Advocates for Education programs. We have about 4 to 5 different award categories, and that's offered each and every year in April, hosted by the Helios Education Foundation, thanks to their president, Paul Luna. The second major program that we offer is what we call the Higher Education Awards program. Each September, we identify 5 to 6 Hispanics working in the higher education environment, whether it's a leadership position as a director or as a dean or as a provost or president, or they're working in a different venue via teaching or research. We also have a category called Literary Arts Award. And then finally, we have Assisting Higher Education. And so we proudly, each and every September, honor these incredible leaders, scholars, researchers that are Hispanic. I like to say that we in the higher education community, not only in Arizona, but in the U.S., are the best kept secret in America. The general public does not know the great and significant work, thanks to the Hispanic professors, leaders across all institutions, college or universities, private or public. And so each and every September, we honor these significant leaders. Again, hosted by the Helios Education Foundation at their campus. And so each and every week, we will look to continue to do an outreach to you and for you. We welcome the opportunity to send us your suggestions and ideas of how you can participate with the foundation in enhancing and enriching the scholarships that we offer and ideas for further program. So thank you very much for listening in. Have a terrific day, and we look forward to continue supporting this program. Thank you, y muchísimas gracias.
Y la música, a mí me dicen el pipiripao. Hey, ahora sí, en carne y hueso, el doctor Olivas, un amigo de nosotros de hace mucho tiempo. And again, we're asking you to donate. Don't forget the Pete Garcia Victoria Foundation.org. That's the correct link so you can donate to our scholarship fund. And Dr. O, bienvenido, buenos días.
Gracias, Raúl.
Buongiorno, como dicen ustedes los italianos.
Sí, pues cómo no. Muy buenos días. Bienvenidos. Luis Olivas, Presidente, Pete Garcia Victoria Foundation. Thank you for joining us today. It's an important day for us to be able to establish more scholarships. We need more resources financially. So that's why we're here today. I retired from Arizona State University. People in Arizona, don't hold that against me, okay?
They love you, man. They
We
love
love
you.
the
You know that.
Wildcats. We love the Lumberjacks. We love the Maricopa Colleges. So I was a business professor, retired after 35 years in the College of Business, Entrepreneurial Studies, Small Business Management is my specialty. And so it's been a great career. I was fortunate enough to meet Pete Garcia growing up, even in high school, and he convinced me to come on over and help form this foundation named after his mother, Victoria. And so unfortunately, Pete Garcia passed about 5 years ago, way too early. So the tradition continues for what we do in order to raise dollars. We need your support. However small you may think it is, it's huge for us. Pete Garcia Victoria Foundation.org is our website. It's live now. You can go to the website, you can pay via PayPal. And so thank you for joining us today. The Pete Garcia Victoria Foundation has several events that we host. The Advocates for Education event is coming up April 16th, where we'll be honoring 5 individuals for what they do to champion our causes in the community, for improving the retention and graduation rate of Latinos graduating from colleges and universities in Arizona. And then in the fall, we have the Higher Education Awards, where we recognize stellar professors, teachers, community leaders for who they are and what they do. Yes, everyone gives. Yes, you probably have tapped out from last year, but just whatever you can give in any amount donation, Pete Garcia Victoria Foundation.org. Go to our website, and we welcome you to provide the financial support that we need. Por eso estamos aquí este día. We welcome you. Please join us. It's going to be a fabulous opportunity. And by the way, if you have a comadre, we have a compadre, primo, tia, abuelita, reach out to your familia and tell them why it's important that they donate to the Pete Garcia Victoria Foundation.org in order to help develop more leaders in our community. There's a strong correlation between education and leadership. Once you start getting a community college or a 4-year degree from any university, you'll be in a better position to become a leader in our community, in your community, regardless of where you live in Arizona. So welcome aboard, everybody. It's going to be an exciting day. We're going to give you a little barometer reading by 1% of how we're doing via this podcast. We want to thank Prensa Arizona. We're in their studios live. They have technicians here. They have a terrific staff here, and their newspaper, fabulous. So you should subscribe and you should purchase Prensa Arizona newspaper. Muchas gracias. Muy bienvenidos.
Dr. Olivas, I couldn't have said it better, and I really appreciate you talking about small business. All the small business that can donate, because, Chicanos por la Causa, the Victoria Foundation, they've always been very helpful in promoting, the movement of small business. Dr. Olivas has done some great research that helps us all, starting with Datos, which is something that the Arizona Hispanic Chamber began, and then they started doing it in Tucson and other parts. Also emulate that, because it's important to have that research. So I'm a small business owner. I own an advertising company called REA Media Group, one of the earliest multicultural agencies in the state of Arizona and the country. We're actually going to be 35 years old. I'm 40, so I'm all right. Started when I was 5. That's how entrepreneurial I am. But I want to ask all the business owners to donate to Pete Garcia Victoria Foundation.org. Lo que puedan, lo poquito, 10, 15, 20, todo lo poquito a poquito vamos a hacer una montaña. So please donate, start, going to the link, send it to your friends, share it, because we are actually worldwide. I think they don't stop. The digital platforms go all over the place. So wherever you are, whether you're from Arizona or not, please donate. We're raising money for scholarships, and also to promote education in general. And I'm going to introduce somebody else right now who has been very active in the community for many, many years. And Susie Moreno, she works with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona as a national manager of national accounts, and she's also the chair of the board of the Victoria Foundation. Susie, talk to me. Good morning. Buenos dias.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us this morning. I have to say first off, right off the bat, I hate following these two guys. I mean, they're so good. The sense of humor and their articulation is just always impresses me. But yes, I work for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona. I manage our national account sales and administration area. It's the best job at the company. I've been there for almost 50 years. I get to work with other Blue Cross Blue Shield offices. We have 50 states.
So you started at 5'2"? You're 55?
Tenía 7 años.
7, okay.
57 years. But anyway, I really enjoy my job. And what I enjoy most is serving on the board of Victoria Foundation. I was really busy the first time that Pete Garcia asked me to join the board, busy taking care of elderly parents, and I told him, there really isn't much I can do for you right now. Well, Pete is very convincing, and he's someone that I always admired, and really, I believe in education. I'm all in when it comes to education. The only way that our community, our state, our country, our world is going to advance is through higher education. I mean, not only does it promote personal growth, career development, but social change all across the board. So I'm all in for that. But on a personal note, I have to say, as a Chicana, Hispanic woman, back in the early 70s when I was in high school, my senior year, this kind of...
Dating you.
I know.
Don't
That's
say
okay.
it.
You know what? I'm proud of my age. It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. You're looking good. Just
thank
own
you.
it. Own it.
Thank you. So it's my senior year in high school, and I am in a classroom, and my business teacher was in the back of the room talking to some students that had finished their test. I finished my test, turned it in, and I walked to the back of the class, and I kind of was listening in, and she was helping some girls talking about scholarship applications, applications to college. And so I kind of peeked in and I says, wow, I said, Mrs. Peterson, I will say her name out loud now. I haven't been able to say it for a long time. I said, can I do that? And she said, oh, no, what for? You're just going to get married and have babies. Ooh, I kind of thought, really? I was 17 years old. I couldn't believe she would talk to me that way. But I don't ever want that to happen to another young girl, young man, any student. My heart, especially, obviously, because soy Latina, it really resonates with me. I want all of our children to go to college, not only, like I said, for social career advancement, but social development, developing critical thinking skills, and just contributing to our community and the world at large. So I'm going to be the first to pledge $1,200.
All right, already bringing some money to the table, $1,200. Thank you so much, Susie. And you've done more than that, and I think Pete always continues to influence everybody. I was thinking about Lorraine Lee the other day, who used to be the CPLC vice president in Tucson. Pete loved her, she loved Pete, and unfortunately both of them are no longer with us, but they created a legacy of leadership, particularly around education. And I know, Dr. O, of course, you've invited me to speak to your students in the past, and I think that's what it's all about. The more our community comes together. So $1,200
Yes.
gets us going. I know other people are donating. We're going to be letting you know how that's coming along, but a lot of people are beginning to get on Pete Garcia, VictoriaFoundation.org, and they're beginning to donate. We want you to be one of them, and make sure we'll recognize you. If you're a small business, we'll be happy to recognize you as well. Little by little, we're going to raise the money that we need for scholarships. Dr. O?
Yes, some data points about our community called the Hispanic community, Hispanic enrollment in colleges and universities. We're the fastest growing population, no question about it. But when you look at the students entering community colleges out of high school or a college or university somewhere across America, we're not at parity. We're not even with everyone else who has that opportunity. And in the majority of the cases, it's a financial burden. In other words, I can't afford to go, so they don't go. So that's why the Pete Garcia, VictoriaFoundation.org is extremely important for you to donate. In addition to that, when you look at small businesses and startups, Hispanic businesses across America is growing at 10 times the rate of anyone else. And guess what? Latina-owned businesses are starting at 20 times the rate.
Wow.
And so there's incredible growth, whether you're working out of the home, the garage, vendors, you name it.
El carro.
El carro,
The
you name it.
van.
Los troquecitos también. It's the fastest growing segment of America among business owners. And we've always been business owners. We just didn't know how entrepreneurial we have been all this time. So the Pete Garcia, VictoriaFoundation.org, por favor, mándalo su dinero. Gracias.
Definitivamente, eso, por favorcito, le vamos a seguir pidiendo, porque estamos aquí hasta unas 3 horas y media. Vamos a estar hasta las 2 de la tarde pidiéndoles. Lo que le estamos pidiendo es que compartan en las redes el donativo Pete Garcia, VictoriaFoundation.org, para que nuestros amigos donen, nuestras familias donen. Y además de eso, como les digo, no tienes que donar. Ahorita ya Susi donó 1,200, pero si tienes 200 ahí que nos puedes mandar, mándalos, 100, 10, 20. 20, 30, lo que sea. Poquito a poquito vamos a estar ganándole a esto y vamos a seguir con ustedes haciendo todo lo posible por recaudar este dinero porque maybe your own sobrina, hija, tía needs a scholarship and we're not going to be able to provide it. And we see the thermometer already beginning to get some numbers there. So we're going to be showing it to you on your screen so you can see it. In the meantime, are we getting another guest right now or are we going to video?
We're going with another guest right
We're going
now.
another guest. Is he here? Chuck Lotzar. We're going to bring Chuck Lotzar from Lotzar Law Firm.
We're going to bring Charlene
Oh,
Vasquez.
Charlene, you're next. Come on over.
Charlene Vasquez. We're flexible.
Okay.
We're
Yeah, thank you,
flexible, what we're
Susie.
doing.
Here?
Yeah, put it right
Muchas
there.
gracias, Susie. Muchas gracias.
Come on up, Charlene. How are you?
Good.
You're-
How are you?
you don't look like
oh
a-
my gosh, you guys are.
You don't look
doing
like a Chuck.
So good. I know. Well,
It's a
Charlie,
compliment.
that was my father's name, Chuck.
Oh, there you
Mira,
go.
And he
mira,
wanted
mira.
me to be a boy, so that's why we got Charlene. You can call me Chuck.
As long as he
We'll let
wasn't Chucky. El Chucky, como dicen los mexicanos. All
I
right.
can't follow you guys. Oh my gosh, I
Yes, you
just
can.
enjoyed just sitting back there watching you.
Well, go for it. Tell us about you. I know you're also on the board.
Yes, I am on the board. I'm a fourth generation Arizonan. Like I said, born and raised here. Went to Arizona State University. Okay, once again, all the schools, colleges are wonderful. My father just so happened to be really into sports. And so after my mother passed away, I was 6 years old. And my father really wanted to go to ASU, but he couldn't because he had to work to help take care of, his siblings and his parents. And so he raised me with sports. As a young child, I went with him to every ASU football, basketball, baseball, track and field. I had to know where the players came from, what position they played, what their ERA was. So my path was to go to ASU. And I am so thankful that I had the opportunity to do that with counselors and assistants. That's why I believe this organization is so important, and that's why I serve on the board. I'm a chief of staff right now for the Arizona Theater Company, and I've been hired to help push them out in the community and gain awareness for the theater company. But my heart is in education. We have a lot of smart kids, but they lack the resources to be able to get to college because their parents are working 2 to 3 jobs. So Victoria Foundation helps build that gap, just giving them any money at all to help them realize their dream of attaining a college degree and going to college, wherever that may be in the state of Arizona. So
And Charlene, tell us also why the arts are important. Theater is so
Yes,
important.
theater is
We're
so
beginning
important.
to tell our stories now.
Yes.
Me and Dr. O go back and we'll say, where are all the Chicanos? There's no Chicanos on TV. I remember Lalo Guerrero, right, singing the song, there's no Chicanos on TV. Not even in diaper ads. And Chicanos also pee. But nobody puts us on TV. And the arts is always very important. And now it's going to become more important for us to tell our stories. I remember you guys hosted the son of Luis Valdez in Tucson. You had
Yes.
a theater obra that he directed, and he came down to see it. And you do marvelous things, but tell us the importance also theater education, the arts, because the arts do marvelous things to our community.
absolutely. And I'm just learning so much about the arts right now and how important that is to our kids because it helps with their brain, their mind. It helps them grow. And the arts are so important, and they're being taken out of schools just because of the lack of funding for the arts. Arizona Theater Company started in Tucson, and they are now in Tucson and in Tempe. And so it's so important to be able to bring the Latino community and any community into the arts to just help with funding for that as well, in terms of how important that is to our kids and how it helps them learn. We've been doing this for about maybe 32 years as we do the National Latine Playwright Awards. And we got Monica to come and be our MC, and we got Zarco to create an award for us. But this National Latine Playwright Award, it helps the Latino be able to have a play written. We give them about $2,500 as a grant. And this last year, June 14th, was the first time that we actually did a live playwright, like a live reading of the play that was selected, in hopes that in the future we can be able to produce the play of the Latino playwright that actually wrote the play. It's called the National Latin Playwright Awards, and it's something that Arizona Theater Company is now doing to push out. So yes,
And it really, really helps the community come together. You know, besides being entrepreneurs, we've always been artistically oriented. From the Aztec, the Toltecs, the Olmecs. When you see Raza, you know, in its magnitude, you see the arts.
We're there.
Muralists.
We've always been there.
Yeah.
Yep.
When you talk about Sarco Guerrero, I mean, you know, wonderful. You have also Martin Moreno here, who started in Tucson and moved to here. So statewide, I think the influence that the Victoria Foundation has in supporting education, and arts education is part of, I wonder how many scholarships you've gotten to people who have gone and having degrees, and then they go into the arts as well.
We've
do.
issued since the inception, thanks to Pete Garcia.
yes.
Again, named after his mom. In 2008, we launched. Since then, we've raised over $1.62 million. With that, we've had the opportunity to give scholarships, over 1,500 scholarships to date. That's why we need your support. That's why we need your donation. Pete Garcia, VictoriaFoundation.org. And as a side note, I'm often asked, well, how does a Hispanic become a business professor at a major university like Arizona State University? Like everyone else, I had the opportunity, I had the encouragement, and I had the mentors. You should know that my dad, bless his heart, had a 3rd grade education. My mom, 8th grade education, but they always focused on the importance of continuing to go to school. And yes, we soon-to-be professors have also worked in construction, in restaurants, in agricultural fields, you name it. I've done it, I've been there. So I've been blessed to have that opportunity, eventually teaching in a high school, at a community college, Scottsdale Community College, Alhambra High School, and then landing at Arizona State University in the fall of 1979. So it's been a terrific ride. I have numerous students that I've had the ability to work with that now own their own businesses worldwide. You name it, they can do it. Give Pete Garcia, VictoriaFoundation.org. Gracias.
Y a todos ustedes que han recibido la ayuda de Chicanos por la Causa, en negocios, en becas de parte de Victoria Foundation, a todos les pedimos que por favor saquen un poquito del bolsillo y lo donen para poder llegar a nuestro objetivo. It is so important that you feel that you're part of this. This is why we're doing this.
Absolutely.
We're doing this because we want to build community. This is what community looks like.
Absolutely.
You know, so when I'm asking you to donate, I'm asking you from the heart, de puro corazón, because, you know, we believe in education. We believe in the power of education.
Absolutely.
We believe in telling our own stories that is part of the American experience. And we need more of our students, you know, to go to college and to move in different careers, you know, go to junior colleges. There's a lot of stuff that's going on in the trades right now with technology that's very important. So we want to make sure that we help your sons, your daughters, your kids, you know, to get to a great education. So donate. Peter Garcia, VictoriaFoundation.org. Estamos aquí en vivo en Prensa Arizona Studios, en el centro de Phoenix, en el gran desierto norteamericano. Decía alurista, ese gran poeta, decía, en el corazón de Aztlán.
Ahí estamos.
Okay.
Help
We're going
our
to
kids
take
get to college.
a brief intermission. Pete C. Garcia, VictoriaFoundation.org. Please give. Coming up next, we have 2 scholarship recipients. They're going to tell their story and tell their story also why and how the scholarship that was provided to them has made a difference in their lives. So
Punch
thank
that
you.
button. Yes.
Absolutely.
Help our kids.
We'll be right back.
Thank you,
Don't-
Charlene.
Don't go away. Charlene. thank you,
Arizona
Prima.
Theater in the house. Amigo Raúl Aguirre, once more here at the studios of Prensa Arizona. On behalf of the Victoria Foundation, I'm one of the board members, and we're asking you to donate to the Pete Garcia VictoriaFoundation.org. You can punch that button, send your money. We want to make sure that we're also, recognizing your efforts. So I'm asking all the small business owners throughout the valley, throughout the state of Arizona, to help us reach those goals of educating our students. And speaking of reaching our goals, we have with us Jessica Bolaños, who is one of the recipients, and now she's getting a master's degree at Arizona State. Good morning, bienvenida.
Good morning.
Well, tell us about that, because I think it's so helpful that we get to contribute to your success, contribute to your education. And of course, we have a saying, I have a saying that says, get in, get going, get done, give back. Talk to us.
Yes, definitely. So I was born and raised here in this neighborhood. I went to Lowell Elementary and then Central High School. I got my undergrad at ASU in Family and Human Development. And then I am back now. I'm in my second year of my master's in social work. My concentration is on the Latino community, seeing as I'm a first generation American. So my mom spoke no English whatsoever. So I was the interpreter, the translator, the everything growing up. And that's kind of when I saw the need for Spanish speaking providers
So
here.
she spoke North American Spanish.
Yes, exactly. And so now that I'm in my master's, I want to help the Latino community and more importantly, the autism community. So I have a 4-year-old with autism. So the Victoria Foundation has helped me a lot because I am able to not work right now. So I was able to use the scholarship money to help finance my daughter's life, and on top with student loans, of course. And I can contribute to her therapies. I can take her to school, and then I can take myself to school too.
What a wonderful relief that is, right? Because, of course, when we have children, being able to take care of them, being able to care for them in the best way possible. I mean, it's shown research after research. If you stay with your kids till they go to kinder, pretty much they're gonna be solid. A lot of times it's so difficult for moms and dads, that are busy working to be able to do that. And I think that creates a better life, better lifestyle. And this is what the Victoria Foundation is all about. I was on the board of Chicanos por la Causa, the advisory board, for many years. And the mission has always been, for our community to be more independent, more not just resilient, because we are resilient. We're tough. We get by, but also enjoy a different type of lifestyle. And I think this is what education helps you. And then you can raise the boats. You can bring other people up. You can hire people if you're a small business owner. And then we can buy from each other. And not just. I mean, we are $1 trillion industry right now. Well, Dr. O knows more about that. 1.2 trillion purchasing power of Latinos across the nation. If we were a country, we will be the what country? Number 4 in gross national product, right? So you're contributing to that, and they're contributing to your well-being, to bienestar. Si está oyendo tu mamá, felicidades. You did a great job, señora. Si está viendo. ¿Cómo se llama?
Griselda.
Griselda, saludos, Griselda, la mamá de Jessica. Qué bien, entonces ahorita estás en el primer año, segundo.
Segundo.
Para que entienda más tu mamá. Ya habla inglés, me entiendo.
Sí, ahora
me imagino,
sí.
Ahora sí,
Bueno.
ya. Ochemaraguayú y todo.
Sí.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Lo que se necesita.
Sí, lo más necesario. Cuando tienes que pelearte con alguien, no te sale el inglés de volada. Y cuéntanos, ¿por qué el servicio social? Why is it because you saw the need, or just something that you want to serve the community in a larger way? You talk about autism, which is very important.
Yeah, so I saw a lot of community members like Dr. O give back to this community, which is, I mentioned, the community that I grew up in. And
This is called Barrio Libre here, or what?
Pues I don't know anymore. Everybody has their barrios.
Right.
I grew up south of
Está tirando, hey, Barrio
south
Libre.
of the 17, so whatever barrio that
Food
is.
City. Where's Food City? Where's my Food City?
Ya
Come
no
on,
está.
bring some donations. Cisco Chavarria. I'm going to call you up, bro. He's a friend. He's a wonderful guy. Helps us all the time. Maybe Food City would like to, if not, you, Cisco, dig deep into your pockets. Send us a couple of $1,000 would be great. Anyway, I digress. But Peter Garcia, VictoriaFoundation.org, all you guys, I know you got the money. Abajo del colchón, bring it out. But tell us, sorry.
Yeah, no. So I saw a lot of the need, or a lot of community members growing up giving back to us. So when I started looking into what kind of career I wanted, I know I wanted to give back specifically to this community, the Latino community, and then now, like I mentioned, the autism community. And working in the autism community, I've also seen a lack of providers that speak Spanish.
Right.
So I want to eventually help the Latino autism community.
Yeah, and also, families, I think it impacts our families so great. I was the first one to graduate from I think from high school in my family, and then the first one to graduate from college, the first one to start my own business. And believe me, people, it has a big impact. El impacto que causamos a veces ni nos damos cuenta en las otras familias, porque mis hermanas fueron a la escuela, los primos empezaron a ir a la escuela. Although, de vez en cuando en la carne asada, digo, ¿te crees porque te graduaste de college? Y le decía, no me creo, man, I'm just still struggling. Cálmate. I haven't really there, but it really helps us. And I think this is why we're doing this today for the Victoria Foundation. And Pete Garcia had the right juice always to get us involved, and it's in his memory and the memory of his mother that we're raising money for the scholarship fund. Anything else you want to tell us that you like the audience to know of the impact that it has made in your life?
No, it has made such a huge impact. Being able to stay home with my daughter, being able to provide for her during the early years. So a lot of my previous work has been in early intervention. Like you mentioned, the ages 0 to 5 are really important. So it's important for us as students who are parents to also be able to financially support our families while going to school and trying to better our lives, because I think that's just going to better the whole community.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, like I said, my belief is if you do well, your children are going to do well, the community is doing well, tu mamá también le va a ir bien, a todos nos va bien, porque juntos lo hacemos mejor. Jessica, thank you so much for letting us know the impact of the Victoria Foundation in your life, and how the scholarship has influenced you to continue to do your master's, and then later probably a PhD.
We'll see.
Yeah. I'm a PhD.
I'll be one too.
Pachuco highly developed.
Yo también, entonces.
Pachuca highly developed. There you go. Gracias.
Thank you.
Jessica Bolaños,
Thank
one
you.
of the recipients of in the studio. Thank you so much. And I think we're going to go with Roy right now. 30% raise so far. So we're getting closer and closer. Around 20,000 already have come in. This is wonderful. Our community is responding, and we really appreciate it. Muchas gracias. Hemos llegado ya. De veras algo interesante. Nuestro objetivo son $75,000 este día. And the Victoria Foundation Gives Day. This is our day for the Victoria Foundation. This is your day for you to donate. This is your day to give us your support and be in support of our community, and also in support of education. Y con nosotros tenemos a otra persona que ha recibido la ayuda también para seguir su educación. Él se llama Roy Vázquez. How you doing, Roy?
I'm doing great.
What's happening, man? Man, I wish I had your hair.
Thank you.
But it looks great. So talk to me. What's going on? I see you have the fork there. You're going to ASU.
Yeah, I'm an Arizona native, and I'm a current sophomore at ASU. I'm pursuing an undergraduate degree in business law.
Okay, cool.
I'm enjoying it so far. Great 2 years so far, and it's been going strong.
And do you plan to be an entrepreneur, or just kind of help businesses get through the, I was going to say atrocities of business law. That's not the right word, but, help business achieve their goals, I guess.
Well, I always like doing community service, like helping people. But the biggest thing I want to do with the business law degree is I mostly want to be an attorney, and I want to be a public defendant to help like those people in need that don't always get the best. Like everyone knows that a public attorney is like
public defender, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably like the cheapest type of defense. So I'm trying to make sure that I take that degree and be a good person in the community and help those in need, especially there's a lot of people that get taken advantage in the legal system, especially people that don't understand maybe English language or not the writing or specific words. So being able to help people day to day and making sure that people are getting not messed over by the legal system is a big passion of mine.
Yeah, that they get the right to really be represented well. And what got you interested in law?
I've always been a person like being interested in like growing up in school, like debate and stuff like that. Like the idea of bringing up stuff and like changing people's minds and perspective and stuff like that. But honestly, it's just doing like community service before college, like having an impact. Like I've always done community service at United Food Bank, and having that impact makes me feel good. And I've also enjoyed law and the idea. So being able to do what I enjoy while also having that impact where it's actually changing people's lives instead of just like doing accountant and numbers and stuff like that. I'm actually having a real impact. And it's also at the United Food Bank and stuff, you do food bank stuff and you help and get it out to families. But when you're with someone and you're defending them in law, you're like face to face and you see the real impact.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I want to
It
say
feels
hello to
good.
my accountant. He has a real good impact. Anyway, yeah, I love it. How did you get into because you know when you're young and getting involved in community service, sometimes it's kind of like, you know, a lot of people young people, sometimes they're shy about it. We're getting more and more, which is really excites me when I see young people working in political campaigns, working in propositions, going and translating for people that need help, especially now that we've had a lot of refugees, not just from, Central America that speak Spanish, but from other countries. People forget that we, still that beacon of light, for the world, and let's not lose that, folks. And I think that's important. How did you get interested in helping?
Honestly, I pay a little homage to my sister. She was like big into community service, and like when I remember when I was a kid, she took me to feed my starving children when I was still a little young. But I remembered it and it made an impact. So always through like high school and stuff, I was always doing different type of community service. But one of my favorites was United Food Bank because it's a lot of like assembly line type of stuff, so you're helping a lot of people at once. Like we'd finish, I'd go in for a day and you'd come out the end and they'd be like, well, this is enough food for like 1,000 families or whatever. And it makes you feel good because, and it's all local. That's what's good too. It's something that's helping right around the corner. And
it's immediate too, because the people, take their boxes and they have something to eat that day or that week. And that's why it's important. We're talking with Roy Vasquez, who is one of the recipients of one of the scholarships from the Victoria Foundation. Please punch in the button, Pete Garcia, victoriafoundation.org, and make a donation today. Anything that you can contribute will help us. Cada poquito nos ayuda a seguir creciendo el número. Están viendo que nuestro objetivo ya tenemos $20,000 en casi menos de una hora, que es fabuloso. Si podemos hacer esto, podemos llegar a $80,000 al final de las 4 horas que vamos a estar en esta transmisión en vivo de parte de los estudios de Prensa Arizona. Le damos las gracias a ellos por tenernos aquí el día de hoy y pasar a todas las diferentes redes sociales. Roy, and what year are you at the university now?
I'm a current sophomore.
Sophomore. Está chavalo, man. You're young, man. You got a lot of mileage to give us.
I still got some time.
This is wonderful. And your parents, what did they do?
Well, I have like a single mom, and she works for like a theater company, so she enjoys it. And
great. That's what we're just talking about, the arts with Charlene, about Arizona theater and how the arts are so important to our community.
Yeah. And so having a single mother and stuff like that, going through school, it's been a little hard, but that's honestly some of the biggest thing that's helped me with the foundation is just help me with like books and stuff. And I also work a part-time job at the school at ASU. So not having to pick up extra hours because I have money for books, that definitely helps. And it helps me focus on my studies. Like, knock on wood, haven't failed any classes, anything like that. So being able to study and hone in on my study just helps with everything else.
Yeah, you're going to be successful. There's no doubt about it. I don't mean to brag, but I had 3 jobs when I went to the U of A, man. I don't think I slept very much. I used to be a radio announcer. I used to be a counselor for New Start. And then I used to be a line cook at Denny's. And, after I went through my sophomore, junior, and senior years working graveyard. So when they gave me a scholarship, the Latin American Social Club, I want to say the owners of the Casino Ballroom in Tucson gave us, and many of us, Lorraine Lee got a scholarship from them, and many other leaders of that area, Southern Arizona, got a scholarship, and that's how we got out from having to work, because in those days also they gave you the money so you can use it directly instead of just giving it to the institution. So I'm glad that is helping you, because then you can really zone into your studies, right? You can really focus.
Especially because working a job and going through school is always hard. So being able to make sure that I'm actually not just getting through school, but actually taking something away from it that's actually going to help me on in the future is because you see people, they go through school, but the fact that I'm able to have this foundation to help me really focus on my studies makes sure that I'm going to actually be a really successful lawyer in the future, to be able to help back the community.
Right, get you going. Well, tell your friends to donate. I'm sure they have $5 somewhere in there. And that way your party of the weekend will be a little shorter, but you will do a good thing. So thank you, Roy, so much for being here. Roy Vasquez, un placer. One of the recipients of the scholarship, and Dr. Rose over there applauding, and Charlene is still here. And we're asking you, Pete Garcia, VictoriaFoundation.org is where we want you to go, so you can help us raise the money that we need for this coming year to do some. We're about 30% raised. That's about 20,000. So when 30, 60, 90, we'll be there in no time at all in the next 4 hours. Yo soy Raúl Aguirre, and I'm asking all my friends. It's all kinds of friends I want to send. I was talking about the Casino Ballroom, so I want to talk to all the committees out there that help our communities to donate some money and get us continue to reach to the 40 and 50 and accomplish our mission today with the VictoriaFoundation.org. That's where you want to go to and donate your money. What else? What else do we have? Break. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. ¿A quién le llamamos, Dr. Oa? Al Trujillo from Harvard Group. That's a good friend over there who has a little bit of money. Brother, send your money a little bit. Saludos a Danny Ortega. Saludos a toda la gente también de la radio. I'm a broadcaster, so I want to ask everyone who has right now to share us in your different websites and help us raise money, and also send some money our way. So our people from all the different Telemundo, Univisión, las radios, les invitamos como colegas a que nos manden un donativo a Pete Garcia, VictoriaFoundation.org. We'll be right back.
Edmundo Hidalgo, past president and CEO, Chicanos por la Causa. I met Pete when I was still in college at ASU. Pete was somebody that always engaged with the students, both as part of HBSA as well as students at ASU in general. He was somebody that knew the value of education and was always committed to helping those of us, especially those of us from rural Arizona. I happen to be from San Luis, Arizona, south of Yuma, but he really engaged with a lot of us that really didn't have a network, and we're trying to engage, with the larger, Phoenix community. And so Pete was always one of those individuals that was very approachable, was always, full of ideas and, full of energy, and always, give us a helping hand in being able to connect, with others, both on the corporate as well as, small business owners. Pete cared about education. He came from humble backgrounds himself, having grown up in the projects, went to ASU, and then eventually got his master's, from USC. And so always attributed, the fact that he was the very first president and CEO of Chicanos por la Causa that actually had a degree. And so in many ways, he professionalized the organization, but at the same time, he never forgot his roots. He never forgot where he came from, and he never forgot the reason why CPLC existed. He made sure that, whenever we engaged, with any member of the community, that we were both respectful, that we're engaging, that, we were there to serve them. They were not there, to come for a handout or for anything that they had not earned. And Chicanos por la Causa, really its purpose and mission was, we always talk about the hand up and not the handout. And so Pete, really reflected, on his values and on his upbringing. And he's somebody that never forgot. He never forgot, what education did for him, both professionally and personally, opened a lot of doors for him, allowed him to be a big thinker. Pete was very strategic. And in many ways, we always, laughed that, he was bigger than life. He was bigger than Chicanos por la Causa, just in terms of his national presence and all the accomplishments that, he always had. So he truly valued education. He valued and always made sure that he himself, but everybody was giving back, whether it was through scholarships or through their volunteerism, their mentorship. I myself, benefited, from a scholarship that was provided, through Los Diablos, and was able to continue my education because of the support that I got, from, again, those that were able to provide those resources. And again, I think we all, we talk about we all stand in the shoulders of giants, because people have paved the way for us, right? Nobody's done it on their own. Everybody who says, that they were successful because of their own, you know what? They may think that, but the reality is that we all were supported by other individuals. Pete Garcia was one of those individuals that cared about every individual. Everybody thought that Pete was their best friend just because, again, he was always very approachable and, just a great, individual to be around. And he really galvanized people, galvanized the community, but he truly cared. Again, it's been a number of years since Pete has passed and is no longer with us, but his legacy, his purpose, the purpose of the Victoria Foundation, again, created in the legacy and the memory of his mother, and those things continue. And there's a lot of people out there who care about our community. They may not know Pete, and they may not know the Victoria Foundation, but they know that there's a lot of young people out there who have a lot of potential, and given the opportunity, given the hand up, can, do great things for our community. So hopefully, many of you, both those of you that have gone forward and received an education, and those of you that, have started your own businesses or whatever your pathway has been, hopefully you value the fact that there are a lot of students that have the ability. They may just not have the resources. And so it's an opportunity to help them out and make an investment, in our future.
Amigos de regreso, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Thank you so much for the people who are beginning to donate. We're getting there. I think I must have misspoken a little bit, but I'm looking at the thermometer. We're getting there. We're getting there. Keep donating, por favor. ¿Qué estamos haciendo? El día de hoy estamos recaudando fondos para el fondo de becas de Pete Garcia Victoria Foundation, donde pueden ver ustedes petergarciavictoriafoundation.org, es donde pueden donar, porque la educación es muy importante. Entonces, para el fondo de becas de la Fundación Victoria, yo soy parte, su amigo Raúl Aguirre es parte de la mesa directiva. Les invitamos a que nos ayuden a ayudar a todos los estudiantes que han estado escuchando. Tuvimos ahorita a Jessica y a Roy que han recibido dinero, fondos para su educación y les ha ayudado enormemente. So please, today is called Victoria Foundation Gives Day, and you're going to help us by giving some money and turning it into our coffers so we can then, in turn, help students reach their educational goals. And I want to have Dr. Olivas, to talk to us about it. He's the president of the organization, and we welcome him back.
Gracias, Raúl. Let me share a story with you about Ramona Granillo, one of our scholarship recipients. She is now based in San Antonio, Texas, but let me tell you about her story. Her parents immigrated to America, working the agricultural fields and so forth, and she was born and raised literally in the grape fields in California, in the grape fields. And unexpected, the baby is coming, so here it goes. And so she grew up as a migrant farm worker and then settled here in Phoenix, Arizona, and decided, I really want to be able to help people that would help me when I was growing up in California. Her parents go off to work, and then they would have daycare, unbeknownst to them, if we would call daycare today. Las familias y los hijos, todos juntos. They all were able to congregate together, learn together, eat together. So she formed a special identity. So she said, I know what I want to do for a living. I want to help others. So she continued with her school. Coming out of high school, she discovered that you can major in social work. Those are the students that then come out into the community and work at various capacities in nonprofits and profits, working in the community, working in the schools, as social workers. Social workers are the people who help other people. That's their expertise. And so Ramona could not be here with us, but she wanted me to share her story. She went to Arizona State University. First, let me back up. She graduated from one of the high schools here locally in Phoenix. She goes on to the community college. She completed her 2-year associate degree at Phoenix College and then transitioned over to Arizona State University. That's when I got to meet her. She's a recipient of the Pete Garcia Victoria Foundation Scholarship. And an interesting story, it's a very moving, emotional story that she told about her growing up, what it means to be a university student, the first in her generational prior family lives ever to go to college. And she has a beautiful corazon about who she is. She completed her degree in social work at Arizona State University last year. It was May of 2024. She had a terrific offer in San Antonio. We tried to convince her, stay here, we need you here, we need you here. But the organization she's working for is the nonprofit that works in the homeless environment in San Antonio, Texas. Every community in our country has a homeless environment. So her specialty now is going out to identify who are these people, why are they homeless, trying to help them to get into programs to get them off the streets, and making sure that they're fed, making sure that there are medical visits, and making sure, especially the children, and this is what tears at her heart, to see the children that she sees in herself when she was a child. And she's doing some beautiful work. So let's give a round of applause to Ramona Granillo, who's tuning in right now. Ramona, muchísimas gracias por su apoyo. Thanks for all you do. We're with you. It's a great ride. Continue. Muchas gracias. That's the update on Ramona Granillo.
Ramona, Muchas gracias. Y vamos a pedirles a todos, a todos nuestros amigos que han tenido éxito. We have a lot of friends here. You know, I'm going to get on the phone right now and send them the link. And the link is, of course, Pete Garcia, VictoriaFoundation.org. Small business owners, some of the leaders of our community. I think this is the time where you can help us reach our goal and continue to help students throughout Arizona to achieve their educational goals. And I think that's sometimes one of the main problems. I think most parents, when we talk to them, they go, es que no tenemos bastantes dinero para pagar, pero el dinero no debe ser un obstáculo, y con la Fundación Victoria, we get an opportunity to make that kind of an impact.
Yes, we do. Pete Garcia, VictoriaFoundation.org. Every dollar that you give makes a world of difference for us. And being able to have more resources then to plow back into what we call developing our future leaders. That's our theme, developing our leaders. We know that can happen thanks to your donation. These are students that are academically talented, some of the best that were coming out of the high schools, meaning they're probably at an A average or a B average, or back in our heyday, we were a 1 or a 2. I never got those kind of grades. I think my average was a 3, Raul.
Yeah, I was right there, 2.99. Just closest to the C. As a matter of fact, sometimes I do a lot of work with average students that they call, because a lot of us were average. We got the C, maybe the B, and we were fluctuating. But part of it is also the ganas to want to do things, and I think it comes with when you get a little push, a little empujoncito, it gives you the ganas to continue. And you go from C to B to A plus and beyond.
And that's my story. Look, I graduated from Phoenix Union High School back in the heyday, in the 60s. To be specific, I'm going to date myself. 65, class of 65. I was a jock, football, wrestling, baseball. I wasn't serious about studying. I was a C average student. So I enrolled at Arizona State University, and at the end of my first semester, I come to find out that I was on academic discipline. In other words, I was called into the dean's office. Probation. Why? Because I did not know, in order to graduate back then at Arizona State University, and still the case, you need a C average. That's a 2.0. I was at a 1.5. And the reason I was at a 1.5 is because I wasn't reading the books. I was just going to class, and that's it. I thought I was back in high school. So that was a shocker. And so I started to read the books. I started to go to class, and my grades started to improve. And so I'm proud to say the last 2 years at Arizona State University, I was an A average 4.0. But guess what? My cumulative grade point average, 2.42. So I was over the hump to get my undergraduate degree. So when I have students come to me to say, Dr. O, I don't think I'm going to make it because I'm only at a 2.8 or 2.9.
and you laugh and you go, cálmate, you can do this.
No, cállate. I pull out my transcript and I block out my name. I said, do you see this transcript here from Arizona State University on some student that wasn't serious? He didn't get serious until the last 2 years. And then I uncover it, and they see my name on it, and they go, oh, and you're a professor?
There you go.
Yes. Even C-average folks can become professors in universities.
Absolutamente. Me recuerda una historia, Humberto López from HSL Properties. Él da una beca en Nogales, precisamente, y el requisito es que tengas average, 2.5 nomás. Si llegas a 2.5, te la dan. Y siempre me resultó maravilloso, ¿no? Que él se estaba preocupando por estas personas que a lo mejor no iban a tener la oportunidad. Así que saludos a Humberto y a su grupo. Humberto López es el mayor propietario de apartamentos en el estado de Arizona, a very prominent Latino from Nogales, who's done just such a great job for the community, giving back to the homeless centers, creating centers for opportunity, and that's how you get through. And I believe he came to ASU as well.
That he did. He's been fabulous. Not only is he available to assist others, mentor university students, but also donates his time, donates his resources, and his money, if you may. Just like other committed folks that we have. Northern Arizona, Jose Cruz Rivera is the president, first Latino president, Northern Arizona University. I've known him for the last 25 years when he was the provost at Cal State University, San Diego. And so he's a terrific alum and a very giving person. He's doing great things at NAU that's about to open up a medical school within the next 2 years. So we have students at NAU pursuing their degrees. Some exciting things happening. We also have students, obviously, at the University of Arizona. It's
Sure.
a fabulous university. What they're doing, what they're about, and how they're moving. And then let's not forget Pima Community College,
Of course, yeah.
based in
Pima.
Tucson. Tell us about Pima Community College and your information and knowledge.
Well, Pima's moving into a new direction now. They have a new chancellor. We'd like to welcome him to Tucson. And I think we have also some new board members like Carla Bernal, who is a newly, he just won her election to the board. And she's, She's directs the technology center in Tucson, and she's doing that. And I think the whole evolution of junior college education is growing, and it's influenced because let's face it, a lot of our students, Latino students, Chicano students, are the majority of the student body clientele, if you want to call it that way, that are going to be going to universities and colleges. So thank you to Pima College for the commitment to the community.
We also have close friends at Arizona Western Community College, based there in Yuma. Daniel Kaur is the president. He's been working with us because he matches us in our donations. So, Yuma, come forward. Donate dollars to the Pete Garcia Victoria Foundation.
Yuma, Somerton.
También de
San
Somerton,
Luis.
San Luis, all of southwestern Arizona. At Arizona Western, we are proudly supporting some of the scholarships and the migrant student programs that's offered by Arizona Western College.
Well, our Chicana mayor, Regina Romero, is from that area, from Somerton. Her husband, Ruben Reyes, who works for Congressman Raul Grijalva, who we want to send the best. He's right now rehabilitating, from cancer, and we want to wish him the best. He's doing well. He's coming across. He's a great congressman for Southern Arizona, and we love him.
Maria Chavoya, a shout out to you. She is based in Yuma. She's on the Arizona Western Community College board, an activist. When she gets going with something, it happens. So Maria Chavoya, muchísimas gracias por su apoyo. Thank you very much for reaching out to the Victoria Foundation with your support and your resources. Share the wealth, share the knowledge. Pete Garcia, VictoriaFoundation.org for a gift. Muchas gracias.
Sí, manden sus donativos. Hablando de luminaries, right? Magda Verdugo, who now runs the YWCA, used to be with Chicanos por la Causa as one of the important things, important people, not things, important people in the leadership positions. So many people that have come out through these ranks to assume leadership positions because of the opportunity that the organization has been giving to many of our upcoming students. So no se les olvide, Pete Garcia, VictoriaFoundation.org. Por favor, I'm going to start sending right now some more people names and not names. I'm going to get the names so I can send them the link. And the link is real easy, Pete Garcia, VictoriaFoundation.org. If you heard some of these names and you go, he's not watching, well, go ahead. I want to send saludos to Alex Reynoso, a wonderful engineering firm who's won so many awards throughout the years. I think you know Alex, real committed to our community. From Arusi Engineering, another, he's done some great work with a lot of our students. And so many other business owners. Por favor, tóquense un poquito el corazón y el bolsillo, y Pete Garcia, VictoriaFoundation.org es la oportunidad de contribuir al fondo de becas de Victoria Foundation, que aunque está basada aquí en Phoenix, pero apoya a través de todo el estado de Arizona. So wherever you're watching this in social media, please make sure that you go to that link and give us a donation. Break. We're going to take a quick break y regresamos en un momentito y con la gente que ya ha estado patrocinándonos y mandando donativos. We're around we're still in the 15-20% percentile of our objective, así que manden lo que puedan. We appreciate it. Pete Garcia, victoriafoundation.org. We'll be right back con el Dr. O y su servidor Raúl Aguirre. Adelante, mi gente. No se rajen. Manden su feria, decían.
I'm Richard Danier, and I'm the president of Mesa Community College. I have the privilege to serve an institution who's had a long-standing commitment to serving the East Valley, but more importantly, making a difference to serve the community so that we can transform the lives of the students that have come here for 6 decades. We're celebrating our 60th anniversary this year, and I'm very proud of that fact. One of the things that I'm also proud of is the fact that I had the good fortune to know Pete Garcia, and as he worked very tirelessly to support the community, to make sure that the difference that those from low-income backgrounds, those people that didn't have the opportunity to go on to college, had the opportunity to be able to benefit from for future generations so that they could support their families and be successful in chosen careers. And the work that he did at CPLC, and then obviously founding the Pete C. Garcia Victoria Foundation, has been so important to making a difference. I really believe that one of the big investments that has come over time is the ability to provide scholarships to students. One of the things that's so critical is that students have to have the opportunity to move forward in their careers. And to do that, they're often lacking the resource. I think the Victoria Foundation has been able to serve students for many, many years, targeting high school students in Arizona to go to college, to receive the degree so that they can provide a future opportunity for themselves to be successful. When we think about developing Arizona leaders, to me, that happens at all levels. And I see that in all of higher education, and particularly at the community college level. I see the opportunity for us to make a difference and to be able to see that the leaders start because of the commitment of those people that are in the classroom, the faculty members who teach them, and more importantly, the support services that they receive so that they can attain the goals of their degree and then eventually go on to the employment and the workforce that they want to succeed in. As I think about, my own career and the fact that I've been fortunate to serve in higher education for more than 30 years, I think about the commitment of those people who have helped me to demonstrate to me the opportunities to be successful. Most recently, I had the good fortune to be selected by the Pete C. Garcia Victoria Foundation as the Dr. Louis Olivas Distinguished Leader in Higher Education Award recipient. This was a tremendous honor for me because of the fact that I have worked to support and advocate for students to have access and equity to opportunities that maybe weren't presented to those before us. But now With that, I see that I have the opportunity to also impact the future. I want to thank the Victoria Foundation for their continued commitment to making a difference in the lives of students with the scholarships they provide. Please continue to make contributions so they can continue to support students to have the impact that they've had for so many years and moving forward so that our students can benefit. Thank you.
Good day to you. Muy buenos días. My name is Louis Olivas. I serve as the president of the Pete C. Garcia Victoria Foundation. Our foundation is focused on assisting the academically talented Hispanic students who graduate from high school and want to go on to higher education institutions. And so we're most fortunate that Pete Garcia, who passed away approximately 5 years ago, founded this foundation named after his mom, Victoria. We have a board who overwhelms the community in terms of leadership and support, and we have an ongoing process. We meet quarterly as a board, and the information that provides more details about who we are as a foundation can be found on our website. We welcome you to take a look at this website. We're looking to establish an ongoing weekly pod series, and so this is a foundational first ever for this foundation. We want to make sure our community understands the actions that we take and how that benefits our community, and specifically our students. We have a rich history since the foundation started in 2010, thanks to Pete Garcia. We've issued over $1.7 million in scholarships to about 1,700 students, in-state students in Arizona, who are either have completed the degree, are gainfully employed in our state or other states, and or the students are currently in a degree program somewhere. These students, as they complete the degrees, obviously become difference makers in our community, employed, contributing to the community in terms of what they do beyond work, as they volunteer to lead organizations, as they volunteer to assist nonprofits. And so we have a proud tradition that was started thanks to Pete Garcia. That tradition continues. We are supported by Chicanos por la Causa in terms of office space and their ongoing support that they do. We're proud to have various sponsors who continue to support us, and there are two major programs that we sponsor each and every year. Number one, in April, we have what we call the Advocates for Education program, where we identify difference makers that are advocating for youth, for educational funding, via school districts, via administrative jobs, via the organizations that they employ or work through or work with. That's why we like to call them difference makers. They're making a difference for our community in terms of making sure our students have access, making sure that they have the correct curriculums designed, and making sure that they have opportunities to further their educational outcomes. So we call that the Advocates for Education programs. We have about 4 to 5 different award categories, and that's offered each and every year in April, hosted by the Helios Education Foundation, thanks to their president, Paul Luna. The second major program that we offer is what we call the Higher Education Awards Program. Each September, we identify 5 to 6 Hispanics working in the higher education environment, whether it's a leadership position as a director or as a dean or as a provost or president, or they're working in a different venue via teaching or research. We also have a category called Literary Arts Award. And then finally, we have Assisting Higher Education. And so we proudly, each and every September, honor these incredible leaders, scholars, researchers that are Hispanic. I like to say that we in the higher education community, not only in Arizona, but in the U.S., are the best kept secret in America. The general public does not know the great and significant work, thanks to the Hispanic professors, leaders across all institutions, college or universities, private or public. And so each and every September, we honor these significant leaders. Again, hosted by the Helios Education Foundation at their campus. And so each and every week, we will look to continue to do an outreach to you and for you. We welcome the opportunity to send us your suggestions and ideas of how you can participate with the foundation in enhancing and enriching the scholarships that we offer and ideas for further program. So thank you very much for listening in. Have a terrific day, and we look forward to continue supporting this program. Thank you, and muchísimas gracias.
Gracias, Prensa Arizona. Periodismo veraz e independiente, muy necesario para todas nuestras comunidades, por tenernos hoy aquí en su estudio en Phoenix, hablando de la Fundación Victoria, una fundación que empezara Pete Garcia, The Big Dog, de acá de Phoenix, que estuvo como parte del liderazgo de Chicanos por la Causa por muchos, muchos años, y el cual dejó este legado educativo. So we're raising money for scholarships for our students. Today, the Victoria Foundation Gives Day, trying to reach to our level of about $75,000. We're somewhere in there, getting close to the 28%. So we need your help. We need you to donate. I'm going to be sending some of my friends the P. Garcia Victoria Foundation website so you can donate. And we're going to come back to talk a little bit with some of my co-board members of the Victoria Foundation that we had a little earlier with us. Pero cuéntenos, bienvenidas back. Ron, Charlene, talk to us.
Thank you.
Well, welcome back. Haven't seen you
Happy to be back. You know, there's a couple of things I'd like to talk about today, and those are the top 10 advantages to getting a bachelor's degree. Obviously, the first one is higher employability. I mean, the chances of you getting a job are much better than someone that just has a high school education. That's what we want for our kids. The studies show that students with bachelor's degrees are 86% more likely to get employed than someone with just a high school diploma, which is about 69%. The other thing is, secondly, is the money you're going to earn. Studies show that students or graduates, employees with a college degree, a bachelor's degree, will earn twice as much as someone without a bachelor's degree over their lifetime. And obviously, the obvious one, right, is specialized career. You can't be a doctor without further education. You can't be an attorney without further education. Can you be a CPA, you think?
No, not without.
I don't think so either. You know, I really liked what our young scholarship recipient said earlier about being an attorney. It just warms my heart because there's some very special people in my life that are attorneys. And I'm calling out to you now, dear friends and family. Richard Castillo, Chiching, write us a check. Sev Rodarte, Chiching, write us a check. I know both of you are respected in the community, lawyers with a heart, and I know that you mentor other young students that want to be lawyers.
Did you see Danny Ortega? Is that what you said?
Danny Ortega is special too. Yes,
That was going to be
absolutely.
mine.
And
That was
you know,
going to be mine.
Danny always gives.
Oh man, Danny
Yeah, you
brother,
can always
saying
count on
hello.
Danny.
He's out there all the time,
Yes.
giving to the cause. Pero otro cachito, it's okay.
Yeah. So here you go, Richard, Danny, Sev. We hope to hear from you.
If not, send them a little message right now on text. We're gonna be texting you with the website so you can punch it in because you know he may be in court, he may be
True.
busy. But if you're watching and you hear some of their names, call them up and say, hey, somebody just checked you out on the social.
And tell them where they can donate.
Of course.
Yeah,
And the
absolutely.
donations, Peter Garcia Foundation.org. Tell me, Susie and Charlene, so why are you board members of the Victoria Foundation? I know that they call us to do so much public service, but we have to be selective as to what we do. Why the Victoria Foundation?
Pues ya te dije mi historia, ¿verdad? Que my teacher told me that
Right, that
she
you
wouldn't
could-
help me
right.
apply for a scholarship or an application to college because she saw me as just a little chicanita, mexicanita that wasn't going to go to college. I was just going
Why
to...
go to the trouble of a university?
Well, no.
When you
She
can
said-
do something else.
Well, no, she said no, she wasn't going to help me. What for? You're just going to get married and have babies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's not very
Yeah, and I heard that
encouraging.
it's really interesting because I remember my daughter Marisol, who now has 2 masters, bachelors and 2 masters. 7th grade teacher told her, she said, I'm going to have a quinceañera. And she told her, oh, that means you're going to be pregnant in a year. And she went like, what? And she told me about it. And I went over there and I went, are you crazy? But that was unfortunate. Sometimes people's blurred, dumb, ignorant, stereotypical perceptions of our students when in fact they have a lot of potential. And
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's why it's important to me because
Yeah.
I don't want any other young Latina to think that she can't go to college, that she can't reach her fullest potential. That's what we want. I don't ever want another girl to hear what I heard because I bought into it. I was young, naive, and I thought, oh,
yeah. Well, you start believing in what the narrative, right? That people
Yeah.
tell you
Yeah.
what to do. I don't know if anyone has noticed, I do have an accent, Chicano accent, and people think that I have a speech impediment, right? And it's not that. And that was told to me by a counselor. And also, why you want to put yourself through so much trouble? You could go, you can go to the mines. I mean, my day, the mines, construction. Even the parents would go, vamos a la Unión mejor. En la Unión ahí te metemos y ya te pones a trabajar and forget about this, right? And I think it's so important. My wife Corina and I started something called Southwest Leadership Initiative. And it's a group that sponsors the Project Ivy League. So we've been taking students to the Ivies and getting them into the Ivy Leagues. Yale, Harvard, and also top schools like Drexel. And of course, like our daughter graduated from Brown. And
That's
she
so
was the
awesome.
recipient of a small scholarship help at the very first year that she went from the Victoria Foundation. So we all can partake of those kind of things.
Absolutely.
And some people, when we started it, they said, why? And I said, because we're trying to develop the new world leaders from our students. And they went, well, that's lofty. And I go, well, it is also real. And now we have just graduated our first cohort, going into the second cohort of graduates from Smith College, from Yale, Harvard, Brown, Columbia. As a matter of fact, I want to wish them all, the students from the different schools that we have Ivy League programs in Tucson High, Choya, Pueblo High School. We get students from New Mexico, and we've been taking them on a 10-day trip to the Ivies, and they're going to be leaving in 2 weeks, and they're going to go to Boston. They fly from Phoenix to Boston. We get them a bus, and they go to 19 different schools, including the National Catholic University in Washington, D.C., and then we take them to the Statue of Liberty and say, this is what it's all about. So in a way, it's a civics class for 10 days, and also a class about si se puede, you can do it, and they apply, and they get in, and they're successful.
Absolutely. And
You know?
I have a little different story than Susie did, is because my father, I had a single parent. My mother passed away, as I mentioned earlier, when I was 6 years old. So my father raised me, and because he wanted to go to college so bad but couldn't, he really wanted to go to ASU, was really involved with watching the sports, but he couldn't because he was like so many families, right, where they're working jobs to be able to help with their parents and their siblings, and so he wasn't able to. So I was blessed to have a father that was so intent on helping me get to college, because he understood the value of education in the position that he was in and that he couldn't go. So he really instilled the value. And you got to start small, right? From what Susie was mentioning about how she was told in school, and that kind of was starting to guide her perception on herself. For me, my father, at a very young age, it was, okay, you're going to go to elementary school, you're going to go to junior high, you're going to go to high school, and you're going to college. Like there was no, there was anything different. There was nothing different that was put into my brain, because that was a progression. There was no option of not going to college. So at a young age, that was in my background, is making sure that I go, okay, now I'm going to go, okay, what's my next? Okay, now I'm going to go to college. I'm going to go to ASU. So that transcends, right? So if we can help these children that want to go to college, it helps transcend it on forward. So because I was raised with such a strong educational attainment, my daughter graduated from Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. My son is currently at Arizona State University. And instilling the education and how important that is for them, it carries on. And the Victoria Foundation plays such a huge role in the lives of our young leaders, because that's what they're going to be. They're growing up to be young leaders, and enforcing the education and helping them get there to actualize their dreams is why I'm a board member.
Ask for the money. Ask for the money.
And all my friends that are out there in sports, in theater, attorneys, like we were saying, please, please, please donate. $20, $25, $1,000. Hey,
It all adds up.
It all adds up.
It
Yeah.
all
It's
adds
also
up.
tax deductible, right?
Yes, it
It's
is
tax deductible. So
Correct.
if you want a tax donation for the end of the year, I know we just started, do it now. Do it.
Yep.
Do it for the Victoria Foundation. Pete Garcia Foundation.org is where we need you to go.
Yes.
All my friends, I'm going to be sending you again I'm sending some of the link so you can donate. And you heard Susie and Charlene also, their motivating stories about why it's important to donate to the Pete Garcia Victoria Foundation.org. Make your donation right now. Ayúdenos a ayudar. Ahorita volvemos. Vamos, mi gente.
Muy bienvenidos. Welcome back to the Pete Garcia Victoria Foundation.org. That's the website where you can donate to our scholarship program. Again, Luis Olivas, I serve as the president of the Pete C. Garcia Victoria Foundation. With us today, we have Alma Ramirez. She is a graduate of Arizona State University, social work major at that. So, Alma, muy bienvenida. Tell us about your story growing up and why you decided to go into social work, por favor.
Yeah. So thank you for having me. Muchas gracias. Well, honestly, I grew up on the farm, right? My parents were migrant field workers. And before it was even a word like community health worker, my father was one of those people. He believed in helping and giving others. I'm not sure if I shared the story with you. I remember being little, coming back from the fields. I don't even know how old I was. And there was a man who was obviously intoxicated. And we walked into the store. He came back out. He gave him a sandwich and like money or water. I don't remember exactly, but I remember him giving him something. And I was like, Papá, pero por qué? Like, está tomado. Like, and he just looked at me. He goes, and because of that, he doesn't deserve a helping hand. He doesn't deserve to eat. And it just like really resonated with me. Like everybody, no matter what circumstances they are, they all need a helping hand.
Beautiful story. So how does your dad become a community health worker with obviously not a title as such, but how did that come about?
I think it was just his passion for wanting to help others. He came through the Baracero program. And so he always said, when we can, we help. And when we can't, we at least guide them to find a way, right? It's not about getting a handout, but it's about giving a helping hand.
Tell us about your experiences in meeting others in this community of harvesters, agricultural workers, and so forth.
Right. So I grew up in the fields up until junior high school. And I thought, wow, this is really hard work. And my dad would be, you have a brain, use it. And you need to go to school, you need to get a career. And he was always focused on that. My brain wasn't always, as a junior higher, focused on that. But seeing the inequities that people in the field were going through, right? Lack of water access, not having a restroom, those simple things, just seeing my dad advocate for those in, our small town really provided me with a sense of justice and wanting to be like the social work that I am today.
I recall, as I shared earlier, working in agricultural context and workers, if you may, grapes, watermelon, cotton, the roses, and the worst were the onion. Why? Because you had to get down on your knees and cut both ways. And so tough back-breaking days. I recall that the average pay was $5 a day during my heyday. And so end of the week, you were getting $25 cash.
Right.
They always paid us cash at the end of the week. And so fond memories, tough environments, but the migrant farm workers that I met treated me as if I was a family member, looked out after us. And yes, even fed us. We thought we had enough burritos to go for the full day. Ain't so. You're always hungry and you're always tired and you're always thirsty. But it was a beautiful environment and one that still resonates on these folks are doing some incredible work and still are in our country.
Yes, I agree 100%. My mom would say, tortilla con sal, pero por lo menos tenemos algo. Or as my son now says, all we need in life is beans and rice and Jesus Christ.
All right. Love that. Love that motto. So you're enrolled where after high school?
After high school, I actually, because of my parents' financial situation, I had to drop out of high school. And so I went to night school to graduate. And then I didn't finish my graduation, but I got pregnant.
Okay.
And I thought to myself, I cannot be a statistic. I just can't. I was going through the vergüenza to be an unwed mother, right? And so what I did was I had my child. I graduated, had my child, and then when my daughter turned 2, I started trying to go back to community college. But I didn't finish because of other life circumstances. And so that's why when I got older, and I have 4 children now, and seeing their talking about their friends going to school and going to college, and I was like, I can still go to college. And I had great mentors. I was working at that time at the University of Arizona College of Public Health, and Cecilia Rosales is actually a person who was like
La doctora.
La
Yeah.
Doctora Rosales. Yes, she is. So she's actually the one who was like, tú puedes. And I'm like, but I'm so old. No importa, tú puedes. I just remember, those words. And my other supervisor, Dr. Eduardo Gonzalez, he, whatever you need. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm smart enough. Maybe I'm too old. What are people going to think? But my passion has always been about helping people. And so they're like, start with one class. And I actually I went to Mesa Community College, and I looked at I met with someone, and they're like, okay, just start with 2 classes. We'll do one fun one and one required one. And I said, okay, that works. It just so happens that the fun one was a social work class. And I thought I wanted to go into public health because that's what my background has been in. But when I saw what social work was about, I was like, ahí está mi corazón, right there. That's what I want to do.
So you completed at Mesa Community College with children, working probably 1 or 2 additional jobs.
Yes.
But you had this desire about you that it's not enough.
Right. So it actually happened during the pandemic when I started at ASU. And I remember being so tired. And I'm going to try not to cry.
That's okay. We're all emotional.
I remember being so tired, and I was working. I was blessed enough to stay home to work, right? Blessed enough that I was still working full time. So I'd start my day at 8 a.m. I'd finish my day at 5 p.m. I'd cook dinner really quickly. And then at 6 o'clock, I'd start taking my classes. And then so I took online classes. I took because of the pandemic. And so I remember it was like 10 o'clock, and I was so tired. And I was just sitting there. And then my son was going up the stairs, and he was like 12 at the time. He looks at me, and he goes, Mom, I see you. And I said, what do you mean? Because I think I don't know what he saw, but he was like, you can do it. Like, I know you're tired, but you can do it. And I just remember thinking, I'm doing this for them. Like, I knew that I was doing it for them, but it wasn't until that moment that he was like, I see you. It made all the difference in the world. And I have another daughter who's graduating now at ASU. She's getting an early childhood education teaching degree. And she was like, Mom, how did you do this? I only work part-time. And I was like, I did it for you. And nothing makes me prouder than to see now my kids going down those steps and being like a first-generation Latina, right? And being able to say, I graduated from high school and I'm completing my father's dream, which is like such a blessing.
Un sueño.
Yep.
The Pete Garcia Victoria Foundation.org. One of the reasons why you want to give is we provide scholarships for recipients like Alma Ramirez in her story and her journey about a degree in social work. So you completed your degree from Arizona State University in social work.
Correct.
Leading to?
So now I'm working with Valleywise Health, which is a federally qualified health center. I'm the community outreach coordinator there. And so my job isn't only to set up sites at locations where these underserved at-risk populations are, but really be kind of like the face. So I sit in front of the mobile unit and I talk to people coming by and I tell them about services that are available to them because people don't know what they don't know. Right? My brother, que en paz descanse, he passed away at 43 of heart disease. And he didn't know there was community health centers. And so now I have the honor and the privilege to talk to mi gente and talk to other people who otherwise feel unseen. I can look at them now and say, I see you, and I'm here to help.
What a beautiful story. Again, the Pete Garcia Victoria Foundation.org. Alma, anything else you want to add about your life, your passion, and your future, por favor?
Well, I'm just grateful for the opportunity that this helped me graduate without any debt, right? And that's the dream, to be able to graduate and not be like inundated with debt. But to those people who think that they're too old or they don't have enough experience, please just take one class. just one. It starts with that one class, and then you can just keep moving forward. And next thing you know, you'll be a graduate.
And as the president, on behalf of all of the board of directors, all our sponsors, you are succeeding. We are succeeding. Muchísimas gracias.
Gracias.
We will be on a quick break. Pete Garcia, VictoriaFoundation.org for your donation. Por favor. Muchas gracias.
And we want to thank all the sponsors that you just saw there that have been helping the organization. Raul Aguirre here asking everyone to donate as much and as little as you can to the Pete Garcia VictoriaFoundation.org. It all goes to educational scholarships. We want our students to continue to enjoy truly the benefits. You heard Roy Vasquez earlier when he was talking about how it helped him, the scholarship helped him, that he didn't have to take 2 jobs. Not like us, we had to take 3 jobs when we went to college. And I'm going to bring another board member, Chuck Lotzard. Thank you very much for being here.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
And joining us. I know that you've been a great contributor to the organization over the years. So more than nothing else, we're asking people this time is the first time that we do the Victoria Foundation Gives Day, and we want the community across Phoenix and across Arizona, really, because we impact everyone. And as board members, we know what kind of job we have to do. So tell me, why do you do this?
Well, it all started back at the beginning and when this whole group was formed. Pete Garcia and Art Thone came to me and said, we want you to form a foundation, and we're going to go raise money for kids. In fact, one of the stories I love to tell is when Pete turned 60, we had a birthday party for him at Gary Trujillo's house. And I walked in, and all he talked about was how everyone had to write a check to raise money for scholarships.
That's what we got to do right now. And you mentioned Art Thone. I haven't heard Art Thone's name in a while.
Art was the founder.
He's a player.
Absolutely.
He's a player. He's still a player.
Yes.
So, and I know that he works a lot with the casinos, the new casino from the Tohono O'odham tribe, which we recognize. We are here. They are the stewards of our land, and we thank the Tohono O'odham tribe, the Pasquayaki down in Tucson as well. Both of them who have been great contributors. Art is working for them. So Art, come on, man. And also you mentioned Gary Trujillo, I mentioned earlier.
Yes.
So I'd like to
guy.
mention the Harvard group. Also, both great guys who've always been very committed. So maybe we can call them up right now and say, hey, what are you guys
Right.
doing today?
Right. Well, they've been great contributors in everything all the way, for sure.
Correct.
But like I said, that party was a real big moment for me, because I remember going home and talking to my mom saying, oh my gosh, I'm with the right kind of people.
Right.
You know.
And Pete could be very convincing. You know, we all knew the big dog, and the Bacteria Foundation is to honor his mom.
Right.
And I know he tapped us all and called up and goes, I'm starting this, and you better, dig into the pockets and start doing some of this work.
Yeah, God rest his soul. I used to tease him every time I saw him. It cost me $50.
At least. You got off early. You got off cheap.
But I knew enough to spend quick.
Yeah, I was, I know Pete for a long time when actually all the way back when he was with Valle del Sol.
Oh, wow.
If you remember, he started with Valle del Sol and then he moved into the CPLC position. And, he was able to also mentor so many people. We
Absolutely.
spoke about earlier about Lorraine Lee, who used to be the CPLC.
God rest her soul.
God bless her for sure. And the impact that she had in Southern Arizona through the Chicanos por la Causa organization. And, of course, the Victoria Foundation now having so much impact. We had a couple of students, Chuck, earlier who were talking about how it helped them, I don't know how many jobs you had in college, but I know I had 3.
Yeah, I was. Well, that's my.
So tell us your story. Yeah.
My fun story is when I was a kid. I grew up in Detroit, and I was a very good student in grammar school and the like. And I went to a school, Dearborn Divine Child, where they had 2 NFL head coaches in the last 5 years. It was a football school. Mm-hmm. So anyhow, the nuns there look at my parents, who didn't really care about education, and say, hey, if he stays here, we're going to make him skip 2 grades.
Oh, boy. That was...
Right. So then all of a sudden, you're not going to be able to play any sports.
Right.
So my parents didn't like that. So I took another test, and then the top prep school in Detroit was University of Detroit High School, and that's where I went. And I did very well there. And then my parents were going to move from one side of Detroit to another side of Detroit, and probably to a place they couldn't really afford. So the idea of going to a private school was no longer in the cards. So my dad looked at me one day and said, "Do you want to go to college someday, Chuck?" And I said, "Oh my God, yeah, I'm riding a bus like an hour each way, and going to a prep school. Yeah, I think I want to go to college." And he taps me on the shoulder and says, "Good luck with that." So that was my college visit, my college talk, my college funding, all in 5 seconds.
Good luck. Have fun.
Yeah. So I always had 2 or 3 jobs. In fact, I was 25 years old the first time I filed a tax return with only 1 W-2.
There you go. Yeah. And that's important. I think the stories that, as board members, we all have our stories and why we're supporting education. A lot of us had to deal with more resiliency than others. Right. But also those were the times. I remember there was very little scholarship funds at the time when I went to the University of Arizona. And I worked 20 hours helping students to stay in school, which is one of the other things. Sure. I often say, like, for example, the U of A is now a Hispanic serving institution. I believe ASU is also a Hispanic serving institution. But in those days, there was nothing like it. And it's so important, the role that plays, because it also helps recruit students that are not just Latinos, but from all over the place, from backgrounds, so socioeconomic backgrounds, where their parents are, we're all working class trying to make it. But I had that job, and I was a line cook at Denny's, and then I was also all of a sudden, I figured, let's get into radio. So I got into radio. So I worked a few hours doing radio, and then I left it all for broadcasting when it was ready. But it by the time I graduated, I had no less than 2 jobs and a full schedule. And I think our students know these stories. Dr. O can tell them, Chuck, Susie, we've been talking about all the stories to our students. And this is why we support them, because that's the story.
You're 100% right. And the funny thing about it is those crummy jobs are part of what make you. In fact, I don't know if anybody's seen the movie 8 Mile, but met my wife. I was a bouncer in a bar at 11 Mile, and she was a cocktail waitress. And it was a bar for kids that were college age that would never go to college. So, and we were both lucky enough to be scholarship recipients, both in law school scholarship recipients too. So we have spent our adult lives basically making sure that we paid back what we got. And this is just another aspect of that.
Absolutely. We were talking to students that one of my slogan is, get in, get going, get done, and give back, which is the most important things.
Right.
My wife, Corina, and I have a program that we take students to Ivy League programs. We get them admitted. We walk them through 9 months of teaching. Soft skills, they call them sometimes, the shaking of hands, the looking in the eye, they're being confident. I don't think they're that soft. They're we got to do those kind of things. And the Pete Garcia Victoria Foundation, that's what he does. So please, PeteGarciaVictoriaFoundation.org. We need your donations. We're barely getting to around the 30% of our goal. Our goal is 75,000. We need everyone to reach deep into their pockets and help us out. So tell your friends.
Yes, definitely help us. And, one of the things that I think is important when you're a fundraiser is to let people know that you gave first. And Mary Sue and I wrote a check for $5,000 to start this. And part of our ambition really was to kind of inspire kids that got our scholarships.
Well, what's the applause? Thank you very much.
Yes,
Hey,
yes,
all right.
yes. We wanted to.
Yes.
We wanted to inspire.
$5,000. Thank you so much, Chuck.
Well, we wanted to inspire kids to, give back some of what they've gotten, along the way. It's like I was talking to somebody this morning, and they said, "You're paying it forward," and I said, "No. We're paying it back."
That's true. Sometimes that is the way it comes, right? Like, I got a little debt right back there that I need to do it. And it's a wonderful story because a lot of people, have misconceptions when you reach a certain level of success that it was easy, that you had it made, that you were an A student. And I'm going like, bro, I was like 2.49,
Yeah, well, we were both good students, but we had to struggle to get here, and it's just one of my sayings is the struggle that makes you wise. So.
Yeah. Well, you eventually get to the 3.9, 4.0, 4.2. Like right now, when we take students to their application for that Ivy League, I call the Southwest Leadership Initiative Project program, Ivy League program. And they go, but I got a 4.0. And I go, everybody has a 4.0. You got to tell the story. What have you been doing? How you been doing it? Because those are the stories that make your character. And the Pete Garcia Victoria Foundation, the Victoria Foundation has done a lot of that because, the events that we do to honor people, to recognize their work. I think advances education.
Sure. Well, and earlier when I heard Charlene talk about how she treated her kids and how they went, it's so ingrained in you when you didn't have that help to get through school that you're making sure everyone else does.
The generational part, right? That sometimes people don't realize that. And I was talking also earlier how I was the first one to go to high school, to graduate from high school, graduate from college, start my own business. And then everybody else started doing that.
Right.
Because they saw, hey, this is possible.
Sure.
We have one of our big supporters about to graduate from Yale School.
Nice.
He's a third semester Yale Medical School. He's a member of the Pascuayaki tribe. His name is Dr. Marcos Moreno. He's going to graduate in May. And I just had lunch with him at El Minuto restaurant in Tucson because now he's the one that welcomes our kids to Yale and says, hi, and he's a doctor, and he's going to be a psychiatrist. And he's at Yale. And people go, wow, how did you do this? He went to Pueblo High School. I mean, these stories are the stories that make up the importance of what the Victoria Foundation and other organizations that help with scholarships throughout the state. But today we're raising money for the Victoria Foundation Scholarship Fund. Go to PeteGarciaVictoriaFoundation.org and help us reach our goal.
Yes, absolutely.
Chuck, and Sue Lotzer donated $5,000.
He just told us, yeah, I was saying, where's the applause? Yay!
And we are happy to do it.
Thank you so much, Chuck. We appreciate it. And thank you for being here with us this morning. And like I said, what we're doing is sending our friends the link to the victoriafoundation.org website so they can donate. Thank you for your donation. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, happy to
Ladies
be
and
here.
gentlemen, Chuck Lozar, muchas gracias. We're going to take a 2-minute break. Regresamos. What are we doing? We're raising money for the Victoria Foundation. Go to Pete Garcia, victoriafoundation.org. You all who remember the big dog, come on, help us out. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Dr. Rosana Hidalgo, and I was a principal at Lowell Elementary School and eventually became the Chief Operations Officer of Phoenix Elementary School District, and I'm currently retired. I grew up in Phoenix and in the neighborhood of Lowell Elementary School, and I went to Phoenix Elementary School schools from kinder to 8th grade. Pete also grew up in the neighborhood, and he was unfortunately a former Lowell student. He's alumni, and I knew him when I was young. My brother was on his little league team, and I still remember him being a coach. Later, I got to know him better when he was at Chicanos por la Causa, and we formed a great relationship. I remember one of my first public speaking opportunities. He approached me and asked me to speak at the Esperanza Awards, which was an award that he had put together for teachers. And I was a first grade teacher at the time. I'm like, you want me to speak? And he's like, yes, who better to speak to the teachers? And he encouraged me to get up there. I was terrified. But once I got started, I mean, it was just natural to honor teachers and what they do for the community. Well, when I was a principal, I can still remember the number of students that would come in after they had graduated from Lowell and were in the process of graduating from high school. And they would come to me to help them look for scholarship opportunities. And it was one of the best feelings ever when they would receive a scholarship. They'd come back and tell me that they received a scholarship to go to community college or to Arizona State or the University of Arizona. And what a proud moment that was for me and for the family that these students that grew up in the inner city, K-8, had an opportunity to go to a university or community college. And, the sad part was they just didn't know how to look for the opportunities, but they made an effort to look for someone to help them out. And the same thing with my own nieces and nephews. I was a first-generation college graduate in my family, but once I graduated, my husband and I have made every effort possible to make sure all our nieces and nephews have attended college, and we help them with the application process, and we help them also seek different types of scholarships. And I think that the Victoria Foundation, which is Pete's vision to further education for our community, is an amazing opportunity for students. It's something that not many students who are especially first-generation students, know how to do, is look for opportunities to help them as they further their education. So, like I said, it's an amazing feeling when you know students that have received scholarships, and I'm sure Victoria Foundation has provided many students with this opportunity. I just wanted to say that I've been in attendance at many La Victoria events, and it's just a wonderful feeling to see how the community supports education. And being a former educator myself, it's just wonderful to see there are people out there that still support education. And their schools are going through rough times right now, and any opportunities that we can to show something positive is wonderful. And especially because we know it's going to affect the next generation of students, especially our Latino students.
Como dicen, más puesto que un calcetín. Raúl Aguirre, amigos, as always, saying that una comunidad fuerte es una comunidad informada. And I am again here with the Victoria Foundation, raising money for their scholarship fund. So please help us out. Donate. Pete Garcia, VictoriaFoundation.org. Thank you, so many people that are donating to the cause. Thank you to the sponsors. I saw APS. I saw many other organizations that are working with the Victoria Foundation to raise money for scholarships for our students. And Dr. O, tell us, how we doing? How we doing?
We're doing fabulous, gente. We're at 40%. Slightly over $30,000 has been donated. Our goal is 75, so help us to get there. Pete Garcia, VictoriaFoundation.org, por favor. We've had some incredible stories of scholarship recipients, and then stories from board members. That's who we are. We represent our community. It's important to be involved in the community because then you become what I call a difference maker. You're making a difference for whatever cause you're going to take up. And one of the best causes is the support of students, academically talented, Hispanic, Latino, graduating high school students all over the state of Arizona, have the ability then for resources provided, financial resources provided by this foundation. And so we're in action. We've raised over $1.62 million since the inception of this foundation in 2008, thanks to Pete Garcia, who started the foundation. I recall from Pete Garcia getting a phone call. He said, Dr. O, come join me for lunch. Ahí vamos. And so when you had lunch with Pete Garcia, it was always at a Chinese restaurant. And I noticed there were no menus on the table. Pete would order everything for everybody. So he pitched me. He said, I'm going to start a foundation named after my mom, Victoria, and I want you to be the finance officer. I said, Pete, I'm too busy, Pete. Give me a break. Call me in.
No, you're not.
Yeah. Call me in another year, Pete. Well, guess what? 2 additional lunches at the same Chinese restaurant. I said, I'll do it. So I became the finance officer for the Victoria Foundation. And then thanks to the ongoing support that we got from the community, Sue Lotzer, and you just heard her husband, Chuck lecture talk about the foundation. Well, it was Sue that came in and organized this as a 501c3. Your donation today can be claimed as a donation. We're a 501c3 nonprofit educational foundation. So anything you give can be written off on your taxes. And so we started with a very minimal amount of, believe it or not, $25,000 back then. As Pete transitioned out of the Victoria Foundation, they set up offices, thanks to the Chicanos por la Causa. So Pete started the foundation, reaching out, Pete Garcia, VictoriaFoundation.org. So that's the genesis of how we got going with the foundation, how we enlisted members to come join us. And so we've been most fortunate to have members that believe in what we're doing and go out of their way to introduce us to organizations, to foundations for contributions that's helping us to make a difference. Pete Garcia, VictoriaFoundation.org.
Absolutamente. This is why we do what we do. It's in the public service. I know that the work is important because it helps raise the awareness and education, the type of things that the Victoria Foundation does for teachers also, because they're the ones in the front lines, recognizing their work, the work of junior college presidents. I know I've been to a couple of the breakfasts where we recognize the people that are out there, helping out, making sure that our students are not only safe, but they're also financially able to create their opportunity.
We're proud to have on our board Stephen Gonzalez. He's the chancellor of the Maricopa Colleges here in the county of Maricopa. He's a dedicated board member. The presidents that he has hired has been doing a fabulous job in our community. The first feeder coming out of high school for the majority of our community going to a community college. It's affordable, fantastic programs, great teachers, great professors in those classrooms, smaller classrooms. So 8 out of 10 students enroll at a community college. And so they're doing a fabulous job. And I want to shout out to Stephen Gonzalez, the trustees of the Maricopa Colleges, and all of the professors and the senior administrators and the presidents who continue to support us, who continue to do a fabulous job. Because from then they transition in Maricopa County, the majority obviously transitioning then on to Arizona State University.
And one of the important things, Dr. O, and you're a master at statistics in terms of the economic impact of Latinos and Chicanos across the United States, is the workforce that we provide. And I'm not talking just, vamos a decir, the regular work, throughout the whole workforce, whether you're a professional or, working in trades. Right now, I believe that our K through 12 Latino population in Arizona is 48% almost?
Latino, yes.
K through 12.
Yeah, the majority in Arizona K-12 are what we call students coming from minority classes, Black, Asian, Hispanic, and Native American. Make up now the majority of the students. Now that that's happened, that trajectory continues. Losing out on white non-Hispanic students dropping because of birth rates, because of people moving into communities aren't as great as they used to be. And so we're no different than other southwestern states, based states like California, Nueva Mexico, like Texas, who already are majority Latino students in K-12 systems, having an impact then in the community college as they move through into higher education. Their greatest increase, based on all the data that's out, published in reports, the majority of the growth for community colleges and universities in America will come from the Hispanic community, those students transitioning. And there's an incredible drop in white non-Hispanics who have been through the system thanks to birth and fertility not being at the 2.1 replenishment rate. You have a drop in the future of white non-Hispanics and increase of minority students led by the Hispanic student populations who then will be employable in the sectors, profits, not profits, public institutions, you name it, making a difference in our community, taking that leadership role. As people retire, then you have a new transition of incoming leaders. recognized as Hispanics.
And stress the importance of that, because a lot of people don't see that. As the general market population is older, the median age for a non-Latino white person is like 55, somewhere out there. So that means half of the population is
Above and
towards
below.
retirement, right? So I often tell people, help me educate our young Latinos, because they're the workforce of the future, and that secures pretty much your Social Security check, your Medicare, because we're going to be the contributors to that fund by and large. So economically, it makes sense for those of you who are watching, that's an important part of your contribution towards the education of these students who are going to become that majority part of the economic contribution to these programs.
Thanks to a longtime dear professional friend, Sol Trujillo, he created Latitude 6-7 years ago now. It's a national conference where we come together and we now talk about the mainstream economy. There is no such thing as a minority economy. It's the mainstream economy led by Latinos who looked at the growth of gross domestic product, GDP, and who looked at the growth of the income within those categories. And when you look at who's purchasing on buying power, none faster than the Latino community, called now the mainstream economy. So when you view the mainstream economy, those are the population groups now in place and projected to grow. It's not a prophecy. It's about mathematics of what's in place now to replenish the workers who are now nearing retirement age. And so, as you said, you're going to have this population paying into Social Security, improving the conditions of the economies in their communities, and stabilizing because of retirement population that is predominantly white non-Hispanic and will continue. And so as a person who is drawing Social Security that we have truly earned, the coffers paying into that fund will continue to increase thanks to the community called mainstream economy, obviously led by Latinos. It's a world of difference.
Absolutely. So we're asking you to donate. Peter Garcia, Pete Garcia, VictoriaFoundation.org. We are here at the studios of Prensa, Arizona. We thank them very much for hosting us today. My name is Raul Aguirre. This is Dr. Olivas, Professor Emeritus of Business from the ASU. Right, Professor?
Yes. Thank you very much. A shout out to everyone who's donating today. A shout out to the studio. Thanks to Prensa Arizona and the staff for coming on board with us as a partner and making things happen for us. In addition, a shout out to the sponsors who you've been seeing coming through for their ongoing support. And congratulations to the scholarship recipients. And you heard from 3 of them today that are now becoming difference makers in their communities. Muchísimas gracias por su apoyo. Thank you very much for your donation.
And we are here. We're reaching, slowly but truly our goal. So please continue to go, share it with friends, send the link, Pete Garcia, VictoriaFoundation.org, and then you can go through PayPal and make your donation. Every little bit helps. Por favor, les invitamos a que donen, a que nos ayuden a llegar a nuestro objetivo. Y muchas gracias por estarnos viendo a través de Facebook y también a través de YouTube. Y pasen la palabra. Aquí estamos esperando su donativo. Muchas gracias.
Edmundo Hidalgo, past president and CEO, Chicanos por la Causa. I met Pete when I was still in college at ASU. Pete was somebody that always engaged with the students, both as part of HBSA as well as students at ASU in general. He was somebody that knew the value of education and was always committed to helping those of us, especially those of us from rural Arizona. I happen to be from San Luis, Arizona, south of Yuma, but he really engaged with a lot of us that really didn't have a network and were trying to engage, with the larger, Phoenix community. And so Pete was always one of those individuals that was very approachable, was always, full of ideas and, full of energy, and always, give us a helping hand in being able to connect, with others, both on the corporate as well as, small business owners. Pete cared about education. He came from humble backgrounds himself, having grown up in the projects, went to ASU, and then eventually got his master's, from USC. And so always attributed, the fact that he was the very first president and CEO of Chicanos por la Causa that actually had a degree. And so in many ways, he professionalized the organization, but at the same time, he never forgot his roots. He never forgot where he came from, and he never forgot the reason why CPLC existed. He made sure that, whenever we engaged, with any member of the community, that we were both respectful, that we're engaging, that, we were there to serve them. They were not there, to come for a handout or for anything that they had not earned. And Chicanos por la Causa, really its purpose and mission was, we always talk about the hand up and not the handout. And so Pete, really reflected, on his values and on his upbringing. And he's somebody that never forgot. He never forgot, what education did for him, both professionally and personally, opened a lot of doors for him, allowed him to be a big thinker. Pete was very strategic. And in many ways, we always, laughed that, he was bigger than life. He was bigger than Chicanos por la Causa, just in terms of his national presence and all the accomplishments that, he always had. So he truly valued education. He valued and always made sure that he himself, but everybody was giving back, whether it was through scholarships or through their volunteerism, their mentorship. I myself, benefited, from a scholarship that was provided, through Los Diablos, and was able to continue my education because of the support that I got, from, again, those that were able to provide those resources. And again, I think we all, we talk about we all stand in the shoulders of giants, because people have paved the way for us, right? Nobody's done it on their own. Everybody who says, that they were successful because of their own, you know what? They may think that, but the reality is that we all were supported by other individuals. Pete Garcia was one of those individuals that cared about every individual. Everybody thought that Pete was their best friend just because, again, he was always very approachable and, just a great, individual to be around. And he really galvanized people, galvanized the community, but he truly cared. Again, it's been a number of years since Pete has passed and is no longer with us, but his legacy, his purpose, the purpose of the Victoria Foundation, again, created in the legacy and the memory of his mother. And those things continue. And there's a lot of people out there who care about our community. They may not know Pete, and they may not know the Victoria Foundation, but they know that there's a lot of young people out there who have a lot of potential, and given the opportunity, given the hand up, can, do great things for our community. So hopefully, many of you, both those of you that have gone forward and received an education, and those of you that, have started your own businesses or whatever your pathway has been, hopefully you value the fact that there are a lot of students that have the ability. They may just not have the resources. And so it's an opportunity to help them out and make an investment, in our future.
I'm Richard Daniel, and I'm the president of Mesa Community College. I have the privilege to serve an institution who's had a long-standing commitment to serving the East Valley, but more importantly, making a difference to serve the community so that we can transform the lives of the students that have come here for 6 decades. We're celebrating our 60th anniversary this year, and I'm very proud of that fact. One of the things that I'm also proud of is the fact that I had the good fortune to know Pete Garcia, and as he worked very tirelessly to support the community, to make sure that the difference that those from low-income backgrounds, those people that didn't have the opportunity to go on to college, had the opportunity to be able to benefit from for future generations so that they could support their families and be successful in chosen careers. And the work that he did at CPLC, and then obviously founding the Pete C. Garcia Victoria Foundation, has been so important to making a difference. I really believe that one of the big investments that has come over time is the ability to provide scholarships to students. One of the things that's so critical is that students have to have the opportunity to move forward in their careers. And to do that, they're often lacking the resource. I think the Victoria Foundation has been able to serve students for many, many years, targeting high school students in Arizona to go to college, to receive the degree so that they can provide a future opportunity for themselves to be successful. When we think about developing Arizona leaders, to me, that happens at all levels. And I see that in all of higher education, and particularly at the community college level. I see the opportunity for us to make a difference and to be able to see that the leaders start because of the commitment of those people that are in the classroom, the faculty members who teach them, and more importantly, the support services that they receive so that they can attain the goals of their degree and then eventually go on to the employment and the workforce that they want to succeed in. As I think about, my own career and the fact that I've been fortunate to serve in higher education for more than 30 years, I think about the commitment of those people who have helped me to demonstrate to me the opportunities to be successful. Most recently, I had the good fortune to be selected by the Pete C. Garcia Victoria Foundation as the Dr. Luis Olivas Distinguished Leader in Higher Education Award recipient. This was a tremendous honor for me because of the fact that I have worked to support and advocate for students to have access and equity to opportunities that maybe weren't presented to those before us. But now, with that, I see that I have the opportunity to also impact the future. I want to thank the Victoria Foundation for their continued commitment to making a difference in the lives of students with the scholarships they provide. Please continue to make good contributions so they can continue to support students to have the impact that they've had for so many years and moving forward so that our students can benefit. Thank you.
Good day to you. Muy buenos días. My name is Luis Olivas. I serve as the president of the Pete C. Garcia Victoria Foundation. Our foundation is focused on assisting the academically talented Hispanic students who graduate from high school and want to go on to higher education institutions. And so we're most fortunate that Pete Garcia, who passed away approximately 5 years ago, founded this foundation named after his mom, Victoria. We have a board who overwhelms the community in terms of leadership and support, and we have an ongoing process. We meet quarterly as a board, and the information that provides more details about who we are as a foundation can be found on our website. We welcome you to take a look at this website. We're looking to establish an ongoing weekly pod series, and so this is a foundational first ever for this foundation. We want to make sure our community understands the actions that we take and how that benefits our community and specifically our students. We have a rich history since the foundation started in 2010, thanks to Pete Garcia. We've issued over $1.7 million in scholarships to about 1,700 students, in-state students in Arizona, who are either have completed their degree, are gainfully employed in our state or other states, and or the students are currently in a degree program somewhere. These students, as they complete their degrees, obviously become difference makers in our community, employed, contributing to the community in terms of what they do beyond work, as they volunteer to lead organizations, as they volunteer to assist nonprofits. And so we have a proud tradition that was started thanks to Pete Garcia. That tradition continues. We are supported by Chicanos por la Causa in terms of office space and their ongoing support that they do. We're proud to have various sponsors who continue to support us. And there are two major programs that we sponsor each and every year. Number one, in April, we have what we call the Advocates for Education program, where we identify difference makers that are advocating for youth, for educational funding, via school districts, via administrative jobs, via the organizations that they employ or work through or work with. That's why we like to call them difference makers. They're making a difference for our community in terms of making sure our students have access, making sure that they have the correct curriculums designed, and making sure that they have opportunities to further their educational outcomes. So we call that the Advocates for Education programs. We have about 4 to 5 different award categories, and that's offered each and every year in April, hosted by the Helios Education Foundation, thanks to their president, Paul Luna. The second major program that we offer is what we call the Higher Education Awards Program. Each September, we identify 5 to 6 Hispanics working in the higher education environment, whether it's a leadership position as a director or as a dean or as a provost or president, or they're working in a different venue via teaching or research. We also have a category called Literary Arts Award. And then finally, we have Assisting Higher Education. And so we proudly, each and every September, honor these incredible leaders, scholars, researchers that are Hispanic. I like to say that we in the higher education community, not only in Arizona, but in the U.S., are the best kept secret in America. The general public does not know the great and significant work thanks to the Hispanic professors, leaders across all institutions, college or universities, private or public. And so each and every September, we honor these significant leaders. Again, hosted by the Helios Education Foundation at their campus. And so each and every week, we will look to continue to do an outreach to you and for you. We welcome the opportunity to send us your suggestions and ideas of how you can participate with the foundation in enhancing and enriching the scholarships that we offer and ideas for further program. So thank you very much for listening in. Have a terrific day, and we look forward to continue supporting this program. Thank you, and muchísimas gracias.
I'm Richard Danier, and I'm the president of Mesa Community College. I have the privilege to serve an institution who's had a long-standing commitment to serving the East Valley, but more importantly, making a difference to serve the community so that we can transform the lives of the students that have come here for 6 decades. We're celebrating our 60th anniversary this year, and I'm very proud of that fact. One of the things that I'm also proud of is the fact that I had the good fortune to know Pete Garcia, and as he worked very tirelessly to support the community, to make sure that the difference that those from low-income backgrounds, those people that didn't have the opportunity to go on to college, had the opportunity to be able to benefit from for future generations so that they could support their families and be successful in choosing careers. And the work that he did at CPLC, and then obviously founding the Pete C. Garcia Victoria Foundation, has been so important to making a difference. I really believe that one of the big investments that has come over time is the ability to provide scholarships to students. One of the things that's so critical is that students have to have the opportunity to move forward in their careers. And to do that, they're often lacking the resource. I think the Victoria Foundation has been able to serve students for many, many years, targeting high school students in Arizona to go to college, to receive the degree so that they can provide a future opportunity for themselves to be successful. When we think about developing Arizona leaders, to me, that happens at all levels. And I see that in all of higher education, and particularly at the community college level. I see the opportunity for us to make a difference and to be able to see that the leaders start because of the commitment of those people that are in the classroom, the faculty members who teach them, and more importantly, the support services that they receive so that they can attain the goals of their degree and then eventually go on to the employment and the workforce that they want to succeed in. As I think about, my own career and the fact that I've been fortunate to serve in higher education for more than 30 years, I think about the commitment of those people who have helped me to demonstrate to me the opportunities to be successful. Most recently, I had the good fortune to be selected by the Pete C. Garcia Victoria Foundation as the Dr. Luis Olivas Distinguished Leader in Higher Education Award recipient. This was a tremendous honor for me because of the fact that I have worked to support and advocate for students to have access and equity to opportunities that maybe weren't presented to those before us. But now, with that, I see that I have the opportunity to also impact the future. I want to thank the Victoria Foundation for their continued commitment to making a difference in the lives of students with the scholarships they provide. Please continue to make good contributions so they can continue to support students to have the impact that they've had for so many years and moving forward so that our students can benefit. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dr. Rosana Hidalgo, and I was a principal at Lowell Elementary School and eventually became the Chief Operations Officer of Phoenix Elementary School District, and I'm currently retired. I grew up in Phoenix and in the neighborhood of Lowell Elementary School, and I went to Phoenix Elementary School schools from kinder to 8th grade. Pete also grew up in the neighborhood, and he was unfortunately a former Lowell student. He's alumni, and I knew him when I was young. My brother was on his little league team, and I still remember him being a coach. Later, I got to know him better when he was at Chicanos por la Causa, and we formed a great relationship. I remember one of my first public speaking opportunities. He approached me and asked me to speak at the Esperanza Awards, which was an award that he had put together for teachers. And I was a first grade teacher at the time. I'm like, you want me to speak? And he's like, yes, who better to speak to the teachers? And he encouraged me to get up there. I was terrified. But once I got started, I mean, it was just natural to honor teachers and what they do for the community. Well, when I was a principal, I can still remember the number of students that would come in after they had graduated from Lowell and were in the process of graduating from high school. And they would come to me to help them look for scholarship opportunities. And it was one of the best feelings ever when they would receive a scholarship. They'd come back and tell me that they received a scholarship to go to community college or to Arizona State or the University of Arizona. And what a proud moment that was for me and for the family that these students that grew up in the inner city, K-8, had an opportunity to go to a university or community college. And you know, the sad part was they just didn't know how to look for the opportunities, but they made an effort to look for someone to help them out. And the same thing with my own nieces and nephews. I was a first-generation college graduate in my family, but once I graduated, my husband and I have made every effort possible to make sure all our nieces and nephews have attended college, and we help them with the application process, and we help them also seek different types of scholarships. And I think that the Victoria Foundation, which is Pete's vision to further education for our community, is an amazing opportunity for students. It's something that not many students who are especially first generation students know how to do, is look for opportunities to help them as they further their education. So like I said, it's an amazing feeling when you know students that have received scholarships, and I'm sure Victoria Foundation has provided many students with this opportunity. I just wanted to say that I've been in attendance at many La Victoria events, and it's just a wonderful feeling to see how the community supports education. And being a former educator myself, it's just wonderful to see there are people out there that still support education. And their schools are going through rough times right now, and any opportunities that we can to show something positive is wonderful, and especially because we know it's going to affect the next generation of students, especially our Latino students.
Amigos, qué gusto estar con ustedes. Thank you so much. The donations are coming one after another. I want to thank Lillian Garcia. I want to thank also Lupe Campos, who checked in with me with Blue Cross Blue Shield Health Choice. As a matter of fact, Lupe is a wonderful friend, and she just goes, yeah, I'm donating. Also, Lillian Garcia, who we know for a long time. Alex Reynoso from Marusi Engineering. And so many other people that are coming through, going to the website. Remember, Pete Garcia, VictoriaFoundation.org. Susie, tell them a little bit more. Also from Blue Cross Blue Shield.
That's right. We've always been big in the community.
Absolutely. You were my first client.
I know. I remember we had to shut down the phones because we were getting too many calls.
Yes, it was awesome. I remember the Access director calling me and going, I want to take you to lunch. And I'm going, why? So he took me to lunch to the restaurant right there near Chicanos por la Causa.
Comedor?
No. The other side. On 32nd, 36. Tepic. Pitic. And he goes, I love the albondiga soup there. And I go, okay. And he goes, I wanted to tell you guys have done a great job, but you're growing too fast. And we go, no, we're doing good. And I'm always thankful because it was my first client, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and all the leadership there that was starting at the beginning. I think you were beginning because I'm talking 35 years ago.
Yes.
And you had already been there for
15.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And our brother, the CFO.
Rich Bowles.
And the other, the Chicano.
Tony Astorga.
Tony Astorga. We can forget. Tony Astorga, was the one that gave us the opportunity to take on the Latino market. Talked to Bob Bulla at the time, who was the president, and his board, and get him going. So these are the stories, I think, that help us. And I couldn't have done it without education. That's why I thank the Latin American Social Club, owners of El Casino Ballroom in Tucson, because they put out 15, 20 scholarships for us. And some of the top, like Lorraine Lee got a scholarship. We had Dr. Jose Duran, who became a gynecologist. We had Liz Miller, who became an assistant city manager in Tucson. So education makes a huge impact in how you think. The exposure. When we was talking about the Ivy League program and the aspiration, it's aspirational. And Dr. O, you know that. It is about getting them into opportunity and exposure. Once we get them exposed, kids go, wow, this is Harvard, this is Yale, this is ASU, U of A, NAU. Once they walk into it, because a lot of us, we live in the city where the university is, and we've never been to it. So we make that possible. The Pete Garcia Victoria Foundation. Please donate, PeteGarciaVictoriaFoundation.org. Susie.
That's right. We make dreams come true.
Yes.
There are so many benefits to getting a degree, aside from the things that we mentioned earlier about higher earnings potential, the ability to get a good job. There's
The critical thinking that you were
critical
mentioning.
thinking skills. I mean, the high schools, they teach you basic skills and knowledge. But in college, there are actually programs that teach kids critical thinking skills, and that's really important to an employer. And not only will that help them with their job, but in life as well. But yes, you mentioned Blue Cross Blue Shield. We've always been very active in the community, and the leaders that you mentioned, definitely. Tony still is active.
Yeah,
in the
yeah. I
community.
came for his luncheon. Amazing recognition.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know what? I'm going to send him an email because I'm sure that he would help us out because he's all about that.
Yeah, he would. So, yeah, we're going to send them an email. Somebody's going to send them an email because it is so important. Another part of the importance of education, and Dr. O, you're in the business side, that helped me is also understanding, and I used to talk to students about know who you are, know where you are, know why you are. And that is enveloped in the whole issue of our own stories. Like I love Chicano literature. When you look at a Rodolfo Anaya, a Lurista, when you look at how we have advanced from 1965, when the Chicano movement started, which founded this organization, Chicanos por la Causa, to where we're at. I mean, it's big growth, but it has to do with us knowing our story, knowing our identity, knowing our contributions. When you talk about, we have been the defenders of the United States of America since Bernardo de Galvez at the War of Independence.
That's a brief history of who we are, why we're here, and how we continue to grow.
Yeah.
Speaking of Tony Astorga, a longtime friend,
Yes.
he just donated.
Wonderful, Tony.
In the-
Thank you.
That would be Tony,
All
yeah.
right.
In addition, Jose Cardenas
Jose.
donated.
Awesome.
Hey,
And so they're coming in and they're coming through. This is a wrap-up. Pete Garcia, VictoriaFoundation.org. Go to the website, drop down to the donate button and donate. You can donate per month, per year, or once. Join us in this adventure. Join us in having our future leaders of our community make a difference for who they are and who we are. I want to thank Prensa Arizona for hosting us today. They've done a fabulous job. Give a shout out, por favor.
Yeah.
Prensa Arizona.
Thank you, Letty.
In addition to that, we have a producer. His name is Jay Olivas.
Jay, all right, Jay.
No relation to me. Last name of Olivas, but I claim him as a son. That's how good he is.
Woohoo!
So thank you very much.
And then-
Genesis, also on behalf of Prensa
Yes.
Arizona, is in the back studio coordinating what you see going on today. In addition to that, Susie Moreno is my boss. She is the chair of the board of the Victoria Foundation. So when you have a board and you have a chair or president, they're the boss. We take direction. You've been doing a fabulous job for our community. Muchísimas gracias, Susie Moreno.
Yay,
Day to
Susie.
day. Our
Hey, who's the
visionary
other
and hard
gentleman over
worker.
there doing the switching? I didn't get his name.
Will Medina.
What's his name, Jay? Eli. Thank you, Eli.
Thank
We
you,
had some
Eli.
great conversation backstage about education and all the things that we go through as people. So it's wonderful to have. Thank you so much, all of them, because it takes, again, all of us coming together. Juntos lo hacemos mejor.
Bottom line is slightly over now $40,000. Thank you for your contributions. Spread the word. Muchísimas gracias. We look forward to this event to occur sometime next year.
We'll see you.
So thank you very much. Shout out to Raul Aguirre, board member,
Thank you,
El
Raul.
Mero Mero de Tucson, Arizona.
Thank you. And don't forget, you can continue to donate after the broadcast here. Pete Garcia, VictoriaFoundation.org. Send it to your friends and tell them, scroll down. Eli just told me, tell them to scroll down and then push the donate button, okay? So please, it doesn't have to stop now. You can continue to donate. It is a tax-deductible donation, and we appreciate it de todo corazón. Gracias. Que vivan los estudiantes, que viva la educación, que viva nuestra gente y adelante. No se dejen.
Amen.